Let's do a cheers to the Sobeys and Safer Liquid Beer of the Week podcast.
Be right again.
I love you guys.
Careful, that cake's hot.
Check-in, come on, let's go. It's the AM Nasty Big Hello.
It's not static, AM radio.
It's the Cool Ben Red Hot Nielson Show. Let's go. Everybody tuning in, even my wife.
Mommy likes too.
And those Macromella intros are cutting like a knife. Hey, it's Mitch texting in, he's your dealer for life. Let's crack a 6 o'clock and lager with some sirloin bites.
Well, good morning, everybody. Happy conch to you on a Tombstone Tuesday. Gotta get the boys up here. Hang on, hallowed indeed. Hallowed indeed.
You can slide over there. Hey, look at that. Hit. Easy.
Oh, it's Charlie the Penguin. Just kidding. It's they stand up on this William Huff banner. Thanks to everybody who ordered yesterday, William Huff. I think you can still get the stuff today. But not with the discounted price, I think.
I thought that was like a playoffs joke due to last night's result and like a...
You know what? Last night. Hey, don't worry about last night. I don't think...
Lose the battle, win the war.
I mean, that's a very good point, Eric. Now, the scoring difference between the... What were you telling me? 12-4?
It's a long season.
It's not ideal.
No. But as you brought up as well, the last two games getting shut out by the Kings, who were they missing?
McDavid and Draisaitl.
And they will drag Max Jones kicking and screaming into the second round.
I would say they probably drag him to the press box.
Whatever it is. He's still part of the team. 6 hits last night.
Very, very interesting game last night. Had a chance to be there in the crowd with an all-timer, Damon Bunting. What a nice guy.
Probably the best civilian you could go to a game with, hey?
God, man. More of my thoughts on Bunting during weekly confessions today. Yeah. Yeah, it's coming up 7:30. That's the ultimate business tease.
Are you leaving your wife?
7:30 today. I mean, Bunting is it was such a fun time. A great time. We went. It was like, sorry, I do not care about the end result of last night's game. Nor should you. There are a few things like from the game that we can take away.
Oh, yes.
But I also I don't think, oh no, they lost to the Kings. They were missing 8 regulars.
Well, they did have their B team out there.
Yeah. Well, Philip to know that little pirate stash.
I love it. This is great.
I thought that stuff was great for an upcoming playoff series between these two teams. It was, some seeds were planted for the postseason. Yeah, they lost 5-0. What were you really expecting? I mean, I don't. If they could have pulled off a win with the roster that they threw out there last night, I mean, I could have seen it being like, oh, wow, I wonder if that rattles the Kings because the Kings had a lineup but they didn't. And I don't care. I don't think you should be all sad because of that loss last night with that lineup. It was essentially as much of a scheduled loss as you could possibly see. Second half of a back-to-back. They're sitting everybody as they should. I mean, the last thing you want in that game is to have McDavid or Draisaitl out there and stupid stuff starts happening and somebody cross-checks them in the back of the head. You know, like it just, to me, the end result of last night's game, zero impact on anything. And I know some of you were delusional and still thought home ice would have been something they could track down. It was never happening. I mean, that was not going to happen. 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. If you're watching over on YouTube today, you know what to do. Smash the thumbs up for your boys. But yeah, great time with Bunting last night. I got downtown, walked over to Campio. I'd never been to Campio before. Very cool spot. Had their much talked about pizza.
Yeah.
And it was different, but it was good.
Deep dish.
Yeah, it was really good. And then we walked over to the game. Great conversation. Fun people like in the section. Guy sitting right in front of me was an AM nasty. Then we go out in the second intermission. I was like, let me buy you a drink.
Oh, that's
like,
nice.
Because he got dinner and stuff. Yeah, I had to do something. He gave me a ticket to the game. He took me to Campio. Drove all the way out to the West End to get me from Sherwood Park. I mean, it was good. No, I drove myself down. But I said, let me get you a drink. So we go to the concession, and I'm like, I didn't really want another beer. We had a couple of beers at dinner, and then we're just kind of good conversation through the first two periods.
So you decided to kick it up a notch.
And then so you know what I saw there? The official drink of the EST Hangout, the Finnish long drink. Tall boys.
Love it.
I said, you know what? I said, I'll have a Finnish long drink. And Bunting,
one for my pal.
Yeah, Bunting was just like, I'll get one of those too.
I love this.
So then I got to watch him try the Finnish long drink for the first time. He's like, wow, this is actually pretty good.
Hockey game first, probably. I mean, we got a lot of summer activities set to come here. You and Bunting, probably.
I mean, who knows?
You should be penciling in your next appointment.
Let's see what happens. I mean, he goes there to a buddy's place to watch a lot of playoff games in the garage, and I was like, I should come to one of those. Like that could be fun.
This is a Seinfeld episode. And I am so here for it.
It kind of is a Seinfeld episode. So it was a lot of fun. Bumped into the guy who was pushing like the rolling cart with hard liquor on it. Was like, Nielsen, you're the best.
That's
like right out loud. And I was like, oh man, look at hard liquor guy. I want to go over there.
It's hard.
He walked right by me. He was like, Fireball. I was like, give me a couple shotsies. But I had to be a responsible adult last night. So
well, you got a game today.
I've got a round today.
The Nielsen Major Tour continues here.
I am golfing this afternoon at the ranch. Today is opening day at the ranch. I'm not sure if Murray McCourt knows that. Murray's like, I haven't been at the ranch for 8 days. I was like, 8 days? I said, like, what are you talking about? So yeah, I'm playing the ranch this afternoon right after two guys, like at 1:20. So if you see a black pickup truck going 120 down Stony Plain Road around 110, that's me. So yeah, I'm looking for, but I hit the range yesterday.
Love it.
Yeah, I snuck there. I had a meeting at 3:00, so I had a small little window after Oil Stream, and I was like, you know what? I did some work here, and I was like, I'm going to go try to hit a range. So I went to Lewis Estates, bumped into a listener there, and then I'm at the range. And you know what? You know how it is, like first range session of the year. Like if all of golf could be played off of the mats at the range, I'd be a stud. It's just, it's like it's cheating. It's like
big mat game.
It's like when you go into Golf Town and you putt and everything funnels down to the hole, and you're like, I can't miss with this thing. So you go and buy it. Like at the range, I'm just like, whoop, whoop, whoop. It was great. And then I know I'll get it on the course today, and I'll panic and I'll shoot 110 to start the season. But yeah, so I had a great range session yesterday. I had the headphones in. I was listening to some tunes, and then I'm looking down the range, and there's this guy, and he's staring at me, and he's like, he points at me, and then he like waves, and I did the old like, me? Like I'm looking around like me, or like you're me? And then he took off his hat, and it was Wayne from Wayne Sports Cards. But I'd never seen him with a hat at the office, like at Wayne's, right? So I didn't recognize him. So I went down and chatted with him. It was pretty good. Jimmy Penner says, good luck golfing today. 60-kilometer-hour winds. Come on, you're making that up. There's not 60-kilometer-hour winds in the forecast.
We'll just wait and see. How about that?
Man, I really hope so. I really hope it's not the case. Is it supposed to be that windy today? Whatever, I'll suck it up.
Clausen line 1.
Yeah, Klaus, let me know the wind forecast today.
Nice and calm this morning.
I told him after like today, after last night and a busy day yesterday, so I only got like a small little nap yesterday. I'm gonna be like Kramer at the end of the AIDS Walk episode when he comes beat up. That's me after like golfing today when I get home to town.
Well, and then Cook County tomorrow.
And then, on Thursday. Today's only Tuesday.
Oh, you want to go? Oh, it's Thursday. I thought you'd go Wednesday. And
No. Cook County Thursday night. Why not?
A day to.
Yeah, I'm sure. I gotta have a day to prep for that.
Well, you got the Sharks game.
Oh yeah, you can't do anything on Wednesday night because the Sharks game is on
8:30.
Gary Bettman's a prick. Hey, what are we doing here? I'm literally nothing game. I mean,
I would just forfeit.
I can't believe we'll have to watch that.
Did you not forfeit? Take the fine or whatever it is. Why not?
Save on hotels.
It's sending a message.
Save on planes.
Yeah.
Just even give the Sharks the 2 points. Congratulations. There you go. And depending on what lineup they're in. Now, McDavid's going to probably play on Wednesday. He's a point away from 100 points. So you'll at least get to stay up to 8:30 and watch McDavid. But my God, could you make a game less meaningless? Just start you can't start it before 8:30 because of television. Nobody's going to want to watch this thing. Start the game at bloody 6 o'clock. Get it done by 8:30. Let's move along. Whatever. All right. 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. Lots of reaction to the Amazon broadcast. I do not watch Amazon Prime broadcasts unless the Oilers are playing on it. And last night I was at the game, so I didn't have to watch the Amazon Prime broadcast. So
you saw Quinn Hudson live in person.
I did. Yeah. I did see Quinn Hudson live. It was something else. All right, if you're watching over on YouTube, hammer the thumbs up for us. That would be greatly appreciated. Let's lay out the show for you today. The Nielsen Show today and every day, brought to you by South Fort Chevrolet. Drive a little, save a lot at South Fort Chev. You're looking for a new pickup truck? Well, then you've come to the right place. 0% financing OAC up to 72 months, or save up to $8,000 on 2025 Silverado 1500s right now. Hop online, check them out, then go visit them, www.southfortchev.com. You can text us anytime. That'll get you into the Paris Jewelers inbox. By this time next week, we'll be setting up game 2 of a playoff series. Can you believe that? It's about, what's that Lizzo song? It's about damn time.
Yeah.
That's it. I tried to send off the playoff song yesterday, but I haven't heard back from the production guys. I always worry. I'm like, oh man, where are these guys? What's going on? Text us anytime. Paris Jewelers inbox, 22 stores in 4 provinces. And of course, right here locally, West Edmonton, Kingsway, Londonderry, Sherwood Park Mall, St. Albert Center, www.parisjewelers.com. And of course, the text of the day will win a gift certificate to A&W.
I think the best part from that Amazon broadcast last night was when they pulled Kemper, and the broadcast team said, "Well, wonder, looks maybe something's wrong here."
Oh no!
And you're like, "Well, they're just kind of pulling him to." They couldn't, and then there was like a TV timeout commercial. They came back. They still didn't. Well, he looks okay on the bench.
Yeah, I mean,
you're like,
I think you probably got to realize at that point they're taking him out just to make sure he's
going on, man.
Not a great look.
No.
I also
but it was good to see old Adnan Virk on the.
He always got some time for Adnan. He always got some time for Adnan Virk.
Bit of a throwback.
Yeah. I think that's good. Gordo says the wind is only supposed to be 38 kilometers an hour at 2:00 today. Somebody says up to 41. I mean, I won't believe anybody until Clausen texts me.
Yeah,
I'll keep my phone out today. We'll see if Klaus checks in at some point. Yeah, I mean, I'm not a huge fan of the Prime broadcasts. And it's just like, to me, you're a huge fan of something if you're wanting more of it. And by no means am I like, man, mix in a Prime Thursday game. You know, have your Monday nights.
Yeah.
Who cares about hockey on Monday night anyway? I mean, for the entire football season, you're not paying attention to Prime hockey.
This was the first Prime I watched at home due to the fact that during NFL season, there were a few at the bar and they were on with no sound. So it was perfect.
We'll get your morning announcements coming up. The morning after show is on the way. The Fan Zone for fansfirst.ca.
Were you yelling that at the game last night, just randomly as well?
Well, I would have if I would have had, but Bunting gave me my ticket.
So you didn't want to be.
So I was just yelling. I was yelling out, Bunting tickets. And then, you know, when they did bring in Big Save Dave, I did tell him, I said, Bunting, quiet. Big Save Dave's coming. It was like we were approaching the Raptor, the T-Rex paddock. It's like, quiet. Shh. We're approaching the T-Rex paddock, Bunting. Craig Button's going to join us just after 7 o'clock today. We will look at all of the lines for Cool Bet today. More of these series lines sort of pop up. We'll monitor that Oilers King series. 7:30 today, Confessions for Spectrum Rental. Fired up for Gemco Fireplaces. And, of course, their exclusive Napoleon fireplace products. We'll go there around 7:45 yet. I don't have anything I'm super duper fired up for just yet, but I'm sure something will emerge as we work our way through the show today.
Oh, Demidov, hey? I mean.
Oh, yeah, I guess I could be fired up for that. What a stud muffin that guy is. How do you say stud muffin in Russian?
Yeah, or French.
That's what that guy, either way. Kind of easy trivia for Mr. Mike's. 3 questions too many for the great staff at Park Mazda. Gager's going to pop by. We will talk. We didn't get into Bahrain very much yesterday. Mm-hmm. So we'll get into the Bahrain GP with Gager.
And
we'll talk about
going to Alpine.
Well, yeah, so I'm leaving. I was popping out yesterday. I had to go to the bank and do some stuff. And Gager was just pulling in. So I went over and talked to him. I said, so what do you think about the race? He was like, so much better than last week. I was like, I know. And then we were talking briefly. I said, how about Max? A couple bad pit stops. He goes, that's all right. He's leaving to go to Alpine. I was like, man, what a guy.
Gager had it.
Anyway, Gage will be by. We'll get his thoughts on Darcy Kemper. Like, if you're worried about anything, Darcy Kemper is what you should be worried about. Mm-hmm. And if you're not worried about Darcy Kemper, then you're probably under the belief that the Oilers are going to win this series. With that being said, Kempe is a hell of a player. God, that Adrian Kempe. I mean, I would assume by the end of this series, if you don't already hate that guy, you'll hate that guy. But out of like respect for how good he is.
He's that guy.
Not hating somebody for Deneau, like his little pirate mustache.
How about that Fogle too, hey?
Well, Fogle, hey? Oh boy. I thought we were going to get a Fogle-Arvidsson fight. I was just like, oh, here we go. Revenge game fight.
I don't mind that, yeah.
But you know what? That was all kind of pissing me off a little bit too. That scrum with Fogle and like Bouchard stepping in there to grab his buddy and just be like, let's everybody calm down. Stop it, everybody. Stop it. Drop the gloves. Somebody drop the gloves there. Like, enough punching people in the face with your glove on.
It's the Ducks game all over again.
Somebody just drop the gloves.
Yeah.
Have a fight. And the officiating last night. Don't even get me started in the officiating last night.
You sound fired up.
Well, I guess I could. No, I don't really. No. I'm going to spend so much time bitching about officials come playoff time. I don't know if I.
Save it.
But like last night's refs were god-awful. Like horrible officiating. Both sides, tic-tac call here, tic-tac call there. This thing couldn't get called properly. Like they were a god-awful mess. It was horrendous last night, the officiating. So that's a tough one.
Prime officiating.
Is that what it was? They got how many prime games have those guys done?
Package deal. Yeah.
Just awful, like embarrassing officiating. And usually when I sit in the crowd at a game and people are like complaining about stuff, I'm like, oh, that's an unjustified complaint. But last night when people were all over the refs, I was just like, I wasn't doing that. Refs, you suck. Refs, you suck. But at the point, I kind of gave everybody like a nod. I'm like, good for you. Like, go get them. Go get them. Like it was bad last night. And I know we're going to get there. And, they called a lot of tick stats. I was going to be like, oh, it's good to see playoffs or refs are on playoff form ready to go. Mm. But they're not going to call that many calls in the playoffs. They're going to put the whistles away. And then people will be like, actually, they don't. It's the same amount of power plays with regulars. Except you get away with everything because people crank it up. Players crank it up a notch on the dirtiness and everything you're seeing in the playoffs. I'll say this. To the officials last night. You want to roll out 6 power plays for McDavid and Draisaitl in the playoffs? Go ahead. Go ahead. You want to call the game like that? Do it. I dare you.
I see.
I dare you to call the game like that. I dare you to call the game like that.
Interesting. And I do wonder as well with the Darnell Nurse what punishment since we're so close to the playoffs, right? How do they?
He'll get a game
because but in the playoffs,
no, it's different.
I don't. It's close to the playoffs, so I don't know.
Yeah. He's not going to be able to play for the first 10 minutes of round 1. Yeah, that's how it works. Great job, league. 2 thumbs up. Look, well, let's get into your morning announcements here for 100.3 The Bear, Edmonton's best rock. You can record every single morning and the lovely Jess Jackson and AM Nasty, like many of you, every day on the way home. Quick conversation with everybody watching right now. Hammer the thumbs up for us. I know you're all down in the dumps, but I think last night was the best false sense of security that you could give to the Kings. They're all fat and happy going home, wherever the hell they're headed next. They're all fat and happy right now. Oh, we outscored the Oilers 12-4 this year. We went 3-1 against them. We shut them out in back-to-back games. And then bam! Connor McDavid. Bam! Leon Draisaitl. Bam! Maybe Evander Kane. Bam! Zach Hyman. Bam! Wallman. Bam! Stetcher. Like
Trent Frederick.
Bam! Frederick. Like, it's going to be a completely different situation, right? So,
the old possum. That's what possums.
Who doesn't love playing possum?
The George Jones game.
Do you think possums say, "I'm playing me"?
Wouldn't that be something? Hey, that's the.
I'm a little tired this morning.
I think we're all kind of a little loopy with these late.
You think today's a good show? Wait till after an 8:30 against the Sharks to wrap up the season.
With Cook County looming.
Yeah.
And Thursday, we probably a beer of the week, right? To round out the week, we'll have to bump that up a day.
Beer. Oh yeah. I better message Andrew. Let me.
Sounds good. Pre-gaming for the.
I'll just make a note here.
Yeah.
Because we should. I wonder if he's aware of that. I mean, he should be aware of the Friday of Easter weekend.
It's a short week,
I'm giving him a heads up. I'm like, hey, man.
Hey, did you know?
Just so you know, we're shutting down on Friday. I don't know about the rest of the world. All right, Loomis is in and says, guys, I went to bed at 3-0 in the first. Yeah, I mean, they started to put him up early last night. As for Darnell Nurse, it was funny because I was at the game, didn't really see what happened, hopped in the truck on the way home, listened to the post-game show. Tommy and Cass were discussing it. I was just like, oh. So then I got home and I watched it a bunch of times. I mean, it's a game. I don't think it's anything more. I know Byfield didn't return, but that could be the Kings being like, let's keep him out. Mm-hmm. And they didn't need him last night.
He looked okay on the bench.
They could have pulled Kemper and not put the other guy in, and they still would have won that hockey game. So I think it'll be a game. It's an easy. Well, he's got a history. It's a 8:30. He doesn't want to even play in an 8:30 game. He probably did it on purpose. Like, give me a game. I don't want to play against the Sharks. So, but I don't see it extending into the playoffs. I'm not even sure it's worthy of the conversation of it being a playoff game. Like, when you look back on it, when I finally got a look at it when I got home last night, it was not as vicious as I was seeing described online or on the post game show last night. Like, he got him, but it wasn't as savage as some were making it out to be. So I think it'll be a game, and that's it. There's no way that leads to a game 1 suspension in the series against the Kings. None at all whatsoever. And if it does, it's like, wow, the world against the Oilers then at that point.
More Josh Brown.
Yeah. I didn't mind. Like, if you're looking at things you can actually take away from that game last night, and I'm not tying Josh Brown in this, he had a couple of hits, but like, there was some physicality there. Now, were they just going out to try to hurt the Kings with the B squad? I think Philip Deneau's a little soft in that situation, but the Oilers were greasy. Like, they were trying to stir some stuff up, which I kind of appreciated. At least there was that. They didn't need to go as far as Nurse's cross-check to the head. But there was more bite in the game than we usually see.
Oh, yeah.
Which was kind of a nice tone setter.
You can't beat him on the scoreboard, right?
For another series coming up. All right, 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999 is where you can get in today. Elsewhere in the NHL last night, what do they call him? Demigod? What a name. Because
I get it. Oh, okay. Yeah.
He's like Maui. And where are those Photoshops at, eh? He's like Maui in Moana. Have you seen Moana?
No.
You should watch it. It's,
I don't.
You and your wife would love it.
I can't.
Both of them are.
Well,
both of
maybe.
them are pretty good. Yeah.
Severance.
No, I don't think Maui's in Severance.
No, but you got Habs though. Still not locked in.
Still not locked in.
Keeping you sweating.
The
Blue Jackets looming.
Who do the Jackets have left on their schedule? Because the Habs got one game left. Columbus has Philly. Ugh.
Columbus, I think, they're Philly and another non-playoff team. Islanders, is it?
It is the Islanders. And then the Habs have Carolina.
But they'll be rested.
Carolina should be resting some bodies there.
At home, too.
I wonder about Patrick Waugh, though, with the chance with the Islanders to get his guys fired up and really stick it to the Habs. You revenge boy. That would not be
fascinating tonight, too. Utah visits St. Louis. The Wild host the Ducks, and the Flames are at home to the Golden Knights.
All right, so some things could be locked in.
That should get sussed out tonight.
That's gonna be a good one. Nothing else really of relevance last night. That Montreal-Chicago game was really the only one that sort of meant anything. And the Habs end up losing in the shootout last night. 4-3. NBA, we got to slide over there, right? Hey. Association City. Hawks and Magic, and then in the West, the Wild Wild West, Memphis Grizzlies, Golden State Warriors. We'll see what happens with that Grizz Warriors game. I'll definitely have some eyes on that one tonight. 8:00 start. Probably watch a good chunk of that game tonight. That's another nice thing about being at the game with Bunting last night. And people, you're going to hate this. I shouldn't even say this. He did recently list a house in Windermere.
Okay.
Of an AM Nasty.
Oh, I like that.
So shout out to the Nasties. Buying or selling, Bunting's your guy. But Bunting and I, we were talking NBA hoops while we were at the Oilers game last night. We both said we completed each other's sentence, and the word was Naz Reid, who's one of the bigs for the Timberwolves. It's just like, I was like, they got Rudy Gobert, they got Julius Randle, and at the same time he's like, and I was like, and Naz Reid. So I apologize to anybody who was sitting around us last night. Who are these two losers talking NBA playoffs while watching the Oilers get dismantled by the Kings?
Feeding each other nachos. This has all the hallmarks of just no, it's right. You say it at the same time. You start.
Yeah, Nasri. Did you just say Nasri too? So did I. This is incredible. D-Rock says, for the sake of this fan base, I really hope the Oilers can play a good game one. Yeah, I think that would go a long way, man. Like, to me, I'm probably jumping the gun a little bit too much on this, but this was a thought I had last night listening to the post-game show driving home. And of course, after games, if you're at games, you're at home, wherever, you can watch the post-game show on YouTube. You can listen to it on TuneIn. You can listen to it on iHeart, and you can listen to it at EdmontonSportsTalk.com. I was listening to it on iHeart in my truck last night. It just automatically connects. It's not hard to figure out. Is this too hot a take this morning? If the Oilers can win game one, they're winning the series. Like, go down, take game one. I don't care if you get game two or not. It'd be great.
1 and 3. One and three are important.
I think if they can go down and win game one after the Kings, got the better of them this year, I think that immediately puts the doubt into the Kings, where they're like, damn it. Well, here we go. Like,
no pressure for game two.
Score 4 on Kemper in game one.
Got no pressure on game two after that.
No, but the right pressure's on the Kings in game two big time.
Absolutely. So if you get a result in game one, game twos, whatever, then you come home at least with the split, and the place will be bumping. Games 1 and 3.
I know it's way too early, but I just, in my mind, I'm like,
no, it's not.
Go win game one in Los Angeles, you'll win this series.
You're looking ahead of the Sharks, are you?
And you know what's tough is, let's say they drop both in LA. Then you're coming home, and I know everybody's like, oh, series really doesn't start until a team loses at home, and I get that. But if you drop the first two in LA, you have to beat that Kings team 4 out of 5 games. And you're going to have to grind hard to get that thing done. So I honestly think if they win game one, they take the series. 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. That is where you can text us. It'll get you into the Paris Jewelers inbox. One of your text messages will win text of the day today. Troll says the Oilers should win the series regardless of game one. I understand. I'm not sitting here saying, hey, if they don't win game one, they're going to lose the series.
Yeah.
Go win game two. But I think if they win game one, they're winning the series. All right, we will get to more of your text messages coming up. We haven't really taken a deep dive yet into that Paris Jewelers inbox. So hit us up in the PJ's inbox. We got the morning after show on the way next, and then the fan zone for fansfirst.ca. Are you expecting anything more than a game for Darnell Nurse? And are you at all reading into the last two games against the Kings, in which, the Oilers didn't score, but they didn't have guys in the lineup who really are the scoring variety? You know, nothing against the lineup last night.
No, but guys in the lineup who also are the scoring.
You had a guy who signed in the morning. He was playing. You had Brown, who, as Tommy mentioned in the postgame show last night, has had a month where he just wasn't doing anything, and that guy played. The real concern here, and we talked about we'll get to it coming up in the fan zone, because it's probably minor, but man, if they can't go beyond 6 deep on the blue line right now. You cannot have Brown playing playoff games if somebody gets banged up, and you might be in that situation, which would suck the big one. So hopefully everybody else can stay healthy. The morning after show is on the way. The fan zone for fansfirst.ca, and Craig Button on the Darcy Kemper factor this time around between the Oilers and the Kings. That's really what you should be worried about, I would think. But we'll get into that with Button. Right now, let's get to a sports update with Lieutenant Eric.
LA Kings clinched the second seed in the Pacific with a 5-0 shutout of the Oilers. LA will now have home ice advantage against the Oilers to start the playoffs. Oilers were without a handful of players last night, while Darnell Nurse was assessed a 5-minute major in game misconduct for his cross-check to the back of Quentin Byfield's head. The Oilers will close out the regular season tomorrow night down in San Jose. Puck drop 8:30. Elsewhere last night, Chicago over the Habs 3-2 in a shootout. Montreal still yet to lock down a playoff spot. Wings score 4 in the third, rallying past Dallas 6-4. Rangers score 4 straight to rally past the Panthers 5-3. Utah spanking Nashville 7-3. And Jake DeBrusk scoring in overtime as the Canucks would edge out the Sharks 2-1. Taking a look at tonight's schedule, Seattle are at home to the Kings. The Golden Knights visit the Flames. Minnesota at home to the Ducks. St. Louis hosts Utah. And the Cats and Bolts from Tampa as the Lightning host the Panthers. Braves double up the Blue Jays 8-4. Game 2 of that 3-game set goes later tonight. First pitch 5:07. Kevin Gausman, the scheduled starter for Toronto. And the NBA play-in tournament tips off tonight with a pair of games. Out east, Atlanta take on Orlando, while the Golden State Warriors host the Memphis Grizzlies. Up next, we'll take a deeper dive into the Oilers' loss to the Kings with your morning after show as Hour 1 of the Nielson Show continues here on Edmonton Sports Talk.
Being a fan of the Oilers today takes everything you got. Taking a break from all your worries sure would help a lot. Wouldn't you like to have your say? It's the morning after show where we will talk about the game and let you know who you should blame. You want a show where you will know if the problems are still the same. You want a show every morning after the game. You want to show so people know if the problems are still the same. You want to show every morning after the game.
All right, it is the morning after show here on the Nielson Show. The Nielson Show brought to you by our great partners at South Fort Chevrolet. Drive a little, save a lot at South Fort Chev. If you were watching over on YouTube today, just because the Oilers mailed it in last night with a B squad lineup. Doesn't mean you can't hammer the thumbs up for us. We're 21 away from changing 100 this morning. So hammer the thumbs up for us. It'll push our show out to others just like you. D-Rock over in the chat says, I believe Kemper is something like 18-4-4 with a sub 220 and 920 in his career versus Edmonton. The Oilers had some brutal teams when he was playing in Arizona and Colorado and whoever else.
I always hate that career because he's playing behind different teams.
Yeah, the whole career record thing.
It's tough to kind of gauge that, really.
Really doesn't make any sense. RBM texting in at 5:48 this morning. Yikes. I don't even know why I watched anything past 2-0, really. The Queens are good. He called the Kings the Queens.
Who's this guy thinking of Shaq? Remember that? The Sacramento?
Sacramento Queens.
I have to get that clip maybe.
Yeah, I watched anything past 2-0, really. Queens are good, obviously, but it's going to be the same thing for the fourth year in a row. Sleazing it up is the way they have to beat the Oil, and last night being a classic example. Yes, the Oilers aren't innocent either, darn nurse, but they got some dirty-ass players for sure. It's the same thing, the no going on about the Oil B squad trying to hurt them or whatever. He made several borderline dirty plays and tried to blow up Connor Brown in the first period himself, LOL. Unless their power play gets back to elite and Kane and Frederick and company are able to match the nastiness and physicality, I don't think they'll have a chance. So I think he's talking about the Kings because he says it's going to be the same thing. RBM, are you saying the Oilers aren't going to have a chance here? He's saying the same thing 4 years in a row and that the Kings are obviously going to kind of grease it up a little bit.
Mm-hmm. We still don't know what this Oilers team is going to look like, though. That's the issue, right? Like there's a bit of a still unknown, a question mark looming and hanging over the events.
Here's the strange thing. You're right. Like, not that you're right is strange, but the fact that the team we see on Sunday in Game 1, which is when everybody's sort of assuming Sunday is, the Lakers will play at home on Saturday, so the Oilers Kings will start Sunday. There's a very good chance it's the first time we've ever seen that team together all year.
Mm-hmm. Whatever it looks like. Yeah.
I mean, not ideal, but also kind of exciting.
Sure.
Right? Like if Evander Kane can go for Game 1, and Tommy was saying yesterday down at the rink when Kane spoke and Knobloch talking about it, kind of got the sense that maybe he'd be a Game 1 guy. So if you all of a sudden are throwing him in there for Game 1, yeah, I don't know.
But what does he look like not having? And that's the other.
But still, it's different.
It's different. Yeah,
it's different.
Something else.
Yeah, they've been shut out 2 games against the Kings, but they didn't have McDavid or Draisaitl.
That's the key.
Do you believe in giving a team a false sense of security? Like the Kings all fat and happy after this game, and then the next time they see the Oilers, like the real Edmonton Oilers are going to be playing a hockey game?
And this goes back to the other meeting as well, shutout in LA. They were also missing 97-29.
And that game, the Kings didn't even really walk all over them.
I had the privilege to be in the hangout with Belzy last week.
Oh, I thought that's his whole Murray yesterday.
I mean, and look, it's not a hot take, but that is the difference with this team. It's night and day.
Yeah.
And the whole B team stuff, you can smirk at it all you want, but it's kind of true. I mean, when these guys are on the ice. Yeah, but when these guys are on the ice, it's different sauce. And I don't care if it's Kemper, I don't care if it's whomever you throw in on the opposition. These guys can take you to places you wouldn't expect to go with the passengers on the team. So yeah, if they're but again, at what status will they be as well? Like what They've had some time to rest here. We've seen McDavid, as you said, he's going for 100 probably in San Jose. This is a bit of a maintenance for him. But they have been both banged up down the stretch. Everybody's hurt at this time of year. I get that. So what version are we going to get? I know they'll be I get it. They'll be fired up. They'll be ready to go. But Kane, Draisaitl, McDavid, and even if Frederick return, at what click, what percentile are these guys going to be at? That'll be the question, but certainly not. When you have 29-97, they can take you out of any situation and get you wherever you want to go. It's simple as that. That is the great decider and the X factor in the series. You can have your Darcy Kempers, which make a big difference from a Kings point of view. But these two, if they're clicking and flying, that's the difference.
Like McDavid and Draisaitl. Like we've known. There were people who were worried that somebody was going to catch the Oilers from behind. There were some people who were delusional and thought the Oilers were going to catch the Kings over the last 3 weeks. But I mean, McDavid and Draisaitl being injured or getting rest could be could be a blessing in disguise for this group. Like, you're going to be rolling in to kick off a playoff run. How many games have McDavid and Draisaitl, I'm not saying together, how many have each of them played over the last 3 weeks? 3.5 weeks? 4? 5? Like, those, I mean, as long as their injuries aren't going to have them laboring come playoff time, those dudes are going to be more rested going into a playoff series than they ever have been in their entire career.
But we don't know. Has it been?
I think those two guys
60% rest, 40% banged up, 70 rest, 30 banged up.
I think it's 90% rest, 10% banged up for those two guys, which is the way it should be. I mean, there was nothing to play for down the stretch. You weren't catching the Kings. Nobody was catching you. You might as well get those two guys, even if they're a little bit nicked up. I mean, look at McDavid. He came back. He's been unbelievable. Now he got some rest last night. He's going to play the Sharks as the equivalent of rest, and then they're going to be ready for the regular season, or for the playoffs. So I don't know, man. I think those two guys could come out of the gate shot out of a bloody cannon, and we'll see what happens there. All right. As for the game last night, 5-0. The Kings outshoot them 36-21.
Do we have to do this?
I mean, very quickly. Like, it's like EST big moment that happened.
Well, I will say the nurse incident.
It's
that
the
was
most talked about moment for the game.
Absolutely. So that's, I mean, you can take your scoreline and shove it up your, there's really no point in kind of diving into that. Yeah, it's the nurse incident. That's the big moment. Full stop. End of sentence. Period.
Yeah, I mean, there's really not much else you want to talk about coming out of that game.
I know Riddick coming in for you was pretty big for you and Bunting.
I do love, quiet Bunting. We're approaching the Riddick paddock. Super stat of the night. What are you going with?
Again, you can't really put much in the numbers. 0 for 6 on the power play. I mean, there were 2 for 8. Kings taking advantage there. I think, too, the Kings had a lot. This could have been. The scoreline could have been a lot higher than it was. I mean, the penalty kill at times was pretty good when the Kings, it seemed like, had a man advantage for the entire second period. Yeah. So credit there. But I mean, I don't know, hits. We had Janmark and Jones combined for 12 hits. How about that?
Wow, that's amazing.
Can we call them the Bash Brothers? Maybe they wear bandanas, And
I guess we could. One of them will certainly be scratched, and the other one probably should be scratched, but whatever. My super stat will be 14-27.
Aha.
The amount of time that Quinn Hudson played, like, first half of the season, Jeff Skinner's like, what the hell? How'd this guy get 14-27? He was dying. In fact, he actually played more than Skinner last night. Skinner only played 14-24 last night. Yeah. Played 3 seconds more than him. I know people have been texting him being like, guys, what do you think of Hudson? I mean, I would, if I was grading a report card on him, I'd give him the old INC for incomplete. Like, it's his first game. He was on a sketchy flight coming in, got here, got into the lineup. Tommy was saying last night, at one point, he thought he heard Arvidsson calling for the puck and was like, buddy, like not even quite sure what his first or last name is right now. I thought he moved okay. He looked like a guy who was playing college hockey in the weekend and is now playing in the National Hockey League. So I am really not going to read one way or the other into Hudson in this game.
But the time on ice is interesting, though, in the 3 seconds.
It is funny how he's like,
message sent.
Skinner gets home last night and lays down and looks and it's like, damn it. This guy still got 3 seconds more than me. Like, what's going on here?
Changing 100.
Oh, there we go. Nice work, Brennan. Let's keep hammering the thumbs up. Let's get to 150 before Button joins us at 7 o'clock.
Doable.
The 3 stars of the game last night. Kempe. Man, Kempe is good. Somebody is, Salt Lake City Nasty texts in and says, I already hate Kempe because my girlfriend has to say how sexy she thinks he is
he's
every time he's on the TV.
Absolutely.
I mean, he's got that Swedish sort of jawline, the long hair.
Yeah.
He is sexy.
Trey Koning.
Yeah. Kempe, first star. Fiala, second star. Trevor Moore, 3rd star last night. Who's your 4th star of the hockey game?
It's, Kemper.
Yeah, he wasn't busy.
He wasn't overtaxed or overworked. But in terms of the bigger picture and looking at the series, certainly could be a difference from a Kings point of view. So, yeah, I mean, it wasn't a a highlight reel night for him necessarily, but did stand tall. And I think early on there was a few hot chances that he kind of turned away, and then things kind of got easier from there on out. So whatever. I mean, it's fourth star, a small star, but anytime you get a shutout, I mean, or shared shutout.
38 star of the game last night. I mean, I don't know. I mean, Pickard made some good saves, but
he did.
I mean, he wasn't great last night. 861. Josh Brown shouldn't be in the lineup. It's tough to hang it on guys who shouldn't even be on the roster, but I mean, I don't know. I'll go. I mean, I don't care enough about the game last night to critique anybody individually.
Are you throwing it away? Are you passing?
No, I'm not. I'm going to give it to Darnell Nurse.
Yeah.
You know your team's already running.
That's the problem.
Don't do what you did. Somebody said they should punish Darnell Nurse by making him have to play 30 minutes against the Sharks with an 8:30 start.
Well, the old joke too flying around the internet last night was like the biggest punishment when they have to play him.
Yeah, you have to play against the Sharks. Yeah. So Darnell Nurse will get a little bit of a rest probably against San Jose, but likely nothing more. 780-218-9999. Let's dive into the fan zone for fansfirst.ca. By fans, for fans, no fees. If you're looking for the best way to find tickets, and I'm not going to say any tickets are going to be affordable come playoff time, but if you're looking for the best way to find tickets for this Oilers-Kings series when they're at home here, www.fansfirst.ca. Speaking of when they're at home, Tommy Gazzola, pre and post game, the GCL Diesel pre and post game show. When the Oilers are at home in the playoffs, Tommy will be at the Ice House right across from the rink. Everybody knows where the Ice House is. Tommy Gazzola will be set up there.
He loves his Ice House.
He loves
Tommy,
it. Yeah, I remember the day we all got fired. First thing Tommy said to me was like, Dusty, if we start something new and we do pre and post, can it be the Ice House? Like he loves the Ice House. So it just makes sense. They're at home. He can be right across from the rink. If you're going down to the game, pop on into the Ice House and see Tommy. For road games, we know road game 1. So Sunday, Boston Pizza Westgate.
Oh,
so nasties,
baby.
That's where the journey begins.
Black Sambuca.
Boston Pizza Westgate on a Sunday night.
I am there.
Tony and Curtis and the crew.
Yeah.
Maybe, it's going to be a lot of
Easter
fun.
ham?
Why not an Easter ham? Who's never wanted to spend Easter Sunday at Boston Pizza with Tommy Gazzola and some of the nasties?
I want Tony carving up a big old ham for me.
Some of you might not have to work on Monday. We're working on Monday.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What industries get Friday and Monday off outside of teachers and schools? Anybody else?
I think that's pretty much it.
Government employees, probably?
Yeah, that type of thing. Yeah.
Not us. That'll be the morning after game 1, and we would have been working anyway.
But it's playoffs.
It's
different.
It's hard.
You know.
It's hard. Speaking of Boston
party
Pizza,
machine.
Tommy and I for Oil Stream tomorrow will be live at Boston Pizza Clairview. If you want to join us for lunch, it's our first visit back there since they had a fire. They've redone the entire place. Apparently, it's very fancy. So we're looking forward to being there. That's lunch tomorrow, Clairview Boston Pizza. Join us for the Oil Stream. And if you do come out, come on up. Make sure you say hi to us, and I'll buy you a beverage at lunchtime tomorrow.
Oh.
Yeah, not you.
Oh,
because you work with us. So, but anybody else, any strangers or nasties who want to come on by, I'll buy you a beverage tomorrow at the Clairview Boston Pizza. All right, the fan zone, fansfirst.ca. There's one game left in the regular season. Pretty much means nothing. I was gonna get into a Nurse suspension conversation, but I think everybody's sort of like, yeah, if they give him a game, whatever, they give him a game. They're not gonna. There's no way he's getting a playoff game for what happened last night. So maybe a game against San Jose. But here's my question today for the fan zone. Do you believe that they can flip the switch come playoff time? Not a lot of these guys have played together for like three plus weeks right now. We haven't seen their full lineup together for almost a month. Can this team flip the switch and just turn it on come playoff time? Or is it too much momentum has been zapped? What do you think, Rick?
I think they can. And then will they? That's the problem. And it's due to the fact that we were talking earlier where you haven't had a lot of runway with the group we're going to see. That's the issue. So, and maybe that switch does take, maybe it's a little time. Maybe like Jurassic Park when they got to, you got to prime the,
you got to prime it before the switch.
And maybe the switch does get hit. But maybe they run out of some time to do that. That's my concern. Can they? Sure. I think they can. But it's the execution of hitting that switch and how long it takes to kind of ignite because of the fact that we haven't seen this group as it will be game one, this iteration of it together at all. And maybe we're kind of overthinking it. Kane's another one, Frederick. But we know McDavid and Draisaitl, they're there. I mean, and then who else we got? Stetcher will be coming back. Wallman, they can. The question is, will they, and how long will it take to flip it? Is it as simple? Do you see game one on the road and they just come out of the chute red hot? You could, I guess. But I don't know what it looks like with the unknowns being Kane and Frederick and how that's all going to come together, I guess.
I like and chime in here, 780-218-9999. Do you think they can just be like, okay, everybody's healthy, we're good to go, flip a switch, let's go on a run? What's your level of confidence in them doing this? 780-218-9999 or over on YouTube this morning if you do want to get in there. If you're watching on YouTube, 31 away from smashing 150 before 7 o'clock. So hammer the thumbs up for us. And if you have not yet subbed to the channel, we want to make that push to 12,000 through the playoffs. So give us a sub as well. We'd really appreciate it. I liked your Jurassic Park reference but here's what I imagine. So she's pumping the primer, right?
Yeah.
So the Oilers are pumping the primer right now.
Yeah.
And then it's time to flip the switch. And they flip the switch. And then they turn around and they go, Mr. Cates, the power's on. But then you remember what happened next in that movie?
Kempe the Raptors behind her.
No. Oh. Kemper. So the Oilers flip this switch and they're like, it's going. They're healthy. They're rolling. And then Darcy Kemper's head, Darcy's Kemper head comes busting out through the wall, and you're in the theater as a 14-year-old and you piss your pants, just like I think I did when that Raptor came through the wall for the first time. That's an all-time movie jump scene.
Yeah, Laura Dern was so happy there.
She was so happy. Yeah. And then she's running, and then she's like, oh, finally. And then Samuel L. Jackson's arm comes down, too. What a stretch there. But I think Darcy Kemper is the Raptor busting through after the Oilers, as Laura Dern flipped the switch.
Who's the arm? Would that be like Trent Frederick coming? Like you think he's there, then you grab him. You're like, oh, you're hurt.
Yeah, that's probably it. Oh, Trent Frederick. It's his ankle. You're just like, no, this is crazy. 780-218-9999.
I'm at like a 75% confidence that it can happen. You asked the confidence level.
Yeah.
I'd say it's in the middle. They can. It's over 50. Kind of in the middle there.
We did not plan that excellent Oilers Jurassic Park comparison, but here we are.
Came together great. Yeah.
Yeah, here we are. I think that's really good. All right, 780-218-9999. Haas is in and says, I think it'll take 2 to 3 games to get that switch flipped. They'll most likely be down 2-0 to start.
Yeah, and that's like, is that enough time? Again, who pointed it out? They'll need to win, 4 or 5 after that?
Well, if they drop 2, you got to win 4 or 5 against a really good Kings team.
Yeah,
so,
and that's. I mean, even if you do find the switch at that point,
I think they're coming. I think they're coming. You know what? This is how.
Is Derek Ryan Dennis Nedry?
No, who's Derek Ryan in Jurassic Park?
I do like this filling out the cast.
Derek Ryan is one of the people eating at the table that doesn't pay attention when they're like, Dotson's here. Like Derek Ryan's one of those people at the table.
Okay.
Yeah. I like a non-factor. Colin the Amishman is in and says, the fan zone. I think they can and will. Even getting McDavid back was a shot in the arm. So having both him and Draisaitl in, they'll look like a completely different team. Haas saying that if they're down 2-0, you know what? I said today, if they win game 1, I think they'll win the series. If they lose game 1, what I could probably see happening is game 2 comes down to Darcy Kemper standing on his head. Because if they lose game 1, McDavid and Draisaitl are going to attempt to go supernova in game 2 to kind of get that split and come home. And they will, but there's this damn Darcy Kemper factor now. And you're like, even if the Oilers pepper him with 40 in game 2 because they're so desperate to not go down 2-0, if Darcy Kemper stops 38 of 40 and you lose that game, that could be a real heartbreaker for the team.
And Belsey was very confident that the 29.97 X factor highly outweighs the Kemper factor.
I mean, it'll be the reason I'm picking the Oilers to win the series. McDavid and Draisaitl. I mean, nothing against. Nah, Kemper's. Look at the numbers Kemper's put up this year, though.
This team, and that's the thing is, this team has always played them hard. So then you add that piece to nullify 29.97. That could be the. That's why it's so interesting. But yeah, it's tough to go against the two-pronged attack here. The two Raptors.
Andrew, the accountant. I'm confident that the big boys and most of the players who made the finals last year can flip a switch, but you have to play the games and see. Hopefully they are actually mostly healthy and not limping into games. Hampton Steve says, remember, the Oilers went 1-4 to finish last season, so they've already shown that they have the ability to flip the switch when the playoffs start. CB Radio Guy says, guys, here's my thing with this kind of series. Have the Kings really improved enough to beat the Oilers in a series since last year? They still play the same style of hockey. The only wild card in my eye is goalie. Kemper is the best goalie they face. Exactly. That's the thing.
Yes, yeah.
Like, Kemper is by far a better goalie than the guys who played in the last 3 years for the Kings against the Oilers. Like, the Los Angeles Kings will undoubtedly have a decided advantage in between the pipes, which I don't think we have said. I don't think we've said.
This is their best one. This is their best shot. And that Zula says, to be honest, I don't buy into the narrative. Everyone is just resting. Some of these guys are hurt, and how long they hold up is another question. But you seem to be on that night. You said
McDavid,
90 to 10.
McDavid was resting.
I know he played, but I mean,
he's been 9 points in his last 3 games.
Draisaitl had a few spills and thrills there leading up to his time off. That
their Draisaitl is going to go like 10 to 12 days between games here.
No, I know, but that's a 90 to 10 concern for you. Hey, you were 90.
Nothing against the other guys, the Canes and the Fredericks, but this series and anything they have in the playoff comes down to those two guys. And wasn't it like 2 weeks ago, Knobloch was like, yeah, if it was the playoffs, these guys would play. So if it was the playoffs, these guys would play. They're a little bit banged up, but they're not like
a little bit, yeah.
Working at, like Leon's not rolling out here on 1 foot like he was a couple years ago. You know, I think that's. Well, he was even hurt through the playoffs last year. He could barely shoot in the Stanley Cup final.
That's what I'm saying. Like, how does it bother you, or are you just like, yeah, they're hurt, it's going to be fine? Dr. J says Ekholm is Ian Malcolm on the stretcher.
Ah, yes, that's a good one.
Yeah.
That is
must go faster.
That is a pretty good one. Who are the two kids? You know, the way the blue line structure right now, I almost feel like they're Emberson and Stetcher.
That's not bad.
It could be vital components of this thing. Like, they need them to step up, but might just be caught running around, hiding.
Corey Perry's Robert Muldoon.
Clever girl. Like, he's yeah.
Like a little game warden, yeah.
All right, 780-218-9999. That is where you can get in this morning. If you're watching over on YouTube, we are 22 likes away from 150. So hammer the thumbs up for us. We have Craig Button coming up for Pro-Am Sports just after 7 o'clock this morning here. We'll get his thoughts on, flipping a switch and the different levels of health and the Darcy Kemper factor. Darcy Kemper, it's been an excellent pickup for the Los Angeles Kings. How much does this series simply come down to him being behind a pretty good Kings team right now? We'll give you a play of the day for Cool Bet, confessions for Spectrum Rental. We'll get fired up for Gemco Fireplaces, your exclusive Napoleon product dealer. But Craig Button is on the way next. Let's get to a sports update right now with Lieutenant Eric for the fine folks out at Nisku Glass.
Kings shutting out the Oilers 5-0, clinching that second seed in the Pacific. LA will now have home ice advantage against Edmonton to start the playoffs. Oilers without a handful of players last night, while Darnell Nurse was assessed a 5-minute major and game misconduct for his cross-check to the back of Quentin Byfield's head. Oilers will close out the regular season tomorrow night in San Jose. Puck drop 8:30. Other action from last night, Sharks falling in overtime 2-1 to the Canucks. Blackhawks over the Habs 3-2 in a shootout. Montreal still yet to lock down a playoff spot. Wings would score 4 in the third, rallying past Dallas 6-4. Rangers, they'd score 4 straight to get past the Panthers 5-3, and Utah spanking Nashville to the tune of 7-3. Action tonight, Kings visit the Kraken. The Flames are at home to the Golden Knights. Wild host the Ducks. Blues at home to Utah. And Florida take on the Tampa Bay Lightning. The Atlanta Braves doubling up the Jays 8-4 last night. Game 2 of that 3-game set goes later tonight. First pitch 5:07 as Kevin Gausman is scheduled to start for Toronto. And the NBA play-in tournament tips off tonight with a pair of games. Atlanta visit Orlando while the Warriors are at home to Memphis. The play-in will continue tomorrow when the Bulls host the Heat. And the Mavericks visit Sacramento. If you've been thinking about new windows and doors, replacing those grimy sealed units, getting that torn-up screen repaired, or making sure your patio doors and windows are working properly, Nisku Glass is here to help. We can also get that chipped and cracked windshield changed and spruced up with a new set of wipers and water-repellent coating. Call us today to get booked for a free estimate and assessment. And remember to mention EST to receive a 10% discount on all residential, commercial, and automotive glass purchases. We won't just meet your glass needs, we'll shatter them at Nisku Glass.
What say you? Hey, nasty crew. We got the Nielson Show flu. Well, there's nothing we can do about it. What say you? Hey, nasty crew. My wife thinks I got better things to do, but there's nothing I can do about it. We're tuning in, we're listening online. We catch up with the podcast, don't fall behind. We're texting in the nasty chat, what's on our mind? 780-218-9999. No more interference from corporate interest. Just Dusty and Eric and all of the bad guys. Like Brzezinski and Noodles, Joaquin Gage. Maybe it's Bubba to Kuban to make a little wager. We can't wait for the Monday Mandate. Sharky's always on time. Tommy's always late.
Would you like a cup of tea?
Forget about the old place. Hey, we were number 1 in the text race. We don't miss all the commercial breaks, but we sure miss Nickelback today. We wanna hear some hot takes and we wanna hear Renee. Why not hold the neck up when I wanna kiss away? Beat up the tire fire and remember that name. We love every goal song, but what about the games? Macramel, Rapaport, Dragger, Engineer. It ain't Christmas season, but they sound like reindeer. Button and my cousin and the tales of the North. All about them human person, Dusty go forth. What say you? AM Nasty Crew.
7:03 with the AM Nasty. Thank you very much for being here. It is the Nielson Show, kicking off another glorious day here on EST. EST, of course, being Edmonton Sports Talk. The Nielson Show will take you up until 9 o'clock today. We will have the Hangout from 9 to 11, the Lock Shop from 11 to 12. And then at noon today, 2 guys and a goalie with myself, Gager and Cass. EST Afternoons with Maddie and Gager, who's returning from his mandatory staycation last week. And then the Reed Wilkins Show from 3 to 6 today. And that's a terrific show. If you've not yet checked it out, you're totally missing out on the Reed Wilkins Show. The Nielsen Show brought to you by Southfort Chevrolet. Drive a little, save a lot. Check them out, www.southfortchev.com. Craig Button's going to join us right away. Keep texting us in the Paris Jewelers inbox. I hear Button kicking around there. We'll bring in Craig here shortly. Every time you do that read for Nisku Glass, what is it? Water repellent,
dude. Yeah, you got to get this.
Do you
stuff.
have that?
Yeah, I got it on the wife's because I took it out there to fix a chip.
Yeah.
So they not only fixed the chip, Big Dave, but he also put. I tried the water repellent coating. It's great. And then as it were, I was.
So do you ever have to use your wipers?
Well, yeah.
Oh, okay.
But it does kind of. It's like you're hitting. Like in Star Wars, you know, the hyperspeed.
Yes.
The range is kind of
goes off. It's like when you're coming out of a car wash.
They put it on in there too sometimes. Yeah. But he did the pro job of applying it, and it was a pretty big process. But it was really nice. Yeah. It's great. Like it's and especially if you get it. Like I did get some rain right after on the windshield, or even if you use your the fluid, like it just. It's like butter, just right off.
Huh, that's interesting. Well, you should try it with butter. You should put butter on.
That's kind of what the application process was like a stick of butter.
Okay, I like that. All right, Craig Button's screen is
I like
all
this.
black right now. Craig, we can't see you.
He's in the dark room.
I don't know if you have something turned on or if you want to reconnect, but we can't see him there. He's gonna reconnect. We'll get to Craig Button. Hour number 2, we'll dive into the hot play of the day for our partners over at Coolbeck. Confessions for Spectrum Rental. We'll go there around 7:30, and then fired up for Gemco and Napoleon Products. we'll go there around 7:45 today. What has you fired up right now? Let us know. 780-218-9999. Collingwood Rob is in and says the Oilers are not better than last year. The Kings are. It all comes down to who plays the best overall team defense and who is willing to score ugly. I mean, yeah, and it's usually what a lot of playoff series come down to. Late Night Lenny says the Oilers will be a freight train. Slow to start, but hard to stop once they're rolling.
See, but these people are also the same people who have been carving up the roster management all season long. Like it's
tough to have. It's tough to have it both ways.
Yeah,
I mean, it really is. All right, 780-218-9999.
Craig says, sorry.
218-9999.
Link is bad.
The link is bad. Okay, you can send a new link. Maybe. I mean, he was connecting. I don't know if he was.
It's
I mean,
bad.
Button's done this a ton of times.
Link.
So, all right, can you text him back and just say we'll send a new link.
A fresh link on the way.
Hopefully, the second link is good. Jimbo says, guys, I'm fired up right now to enjoy a patio sooner than later.
Yeah.
You haven't had patio experience yet.
No, too much dust. That's the problem. I hate the dust flying around.
There's a lot of dust.
If Big David Niski Glasgow could kind of water repellent the city and put it settle the dust
like
down.
Tony Stark or something.
Yeah, sure.
That would be. We
have the
cool.
technology.
There were people on patio last night at Campion.
Yeah, I mean,
we sat inside, but I saw patio people.
I get it.
Yeah, there was somebody. We went to Original Joe's on the West End there on Friday night after Marshall's hockey game, and when we were leaving around 9:00, there were some people out on the patio. But I think those are the people that were sitting next to like all of our kids, and they went outside to get away from them. Like it's tough rolling into a place after a hockey game with, I don't know, probably between siblings and players, 20 kids. And we said, that location. You go in and then up on the right, there's like you take like 2 steps up. So all of the kids were up there on the right, on the left side of that, and then all the parents were down like in front of the bar. And then these poor other people were like stuck up there with our kids. And I was like, oh man, that would suck. Like you're coming out for a night and then we roll in with 20 kids.
I would go to the patio.
What are you going to do? Like that's a tough spot.
Don't mind sitting on the front stoop though. I've been doing that a bit.
Have you been sitting on the stoop?
Front stoop. Yeah, that's always nice.
Are you getting some conversations out of this or?
Just, watching the birds, people walking by,
that's
that
nice
type of thing.
Yeah.
You get a real vibe for the neighborhood. You get to kind of feel the pulse.
Dr. J is suggesting that Craig Button had to reboot the Jurassic Park system.
Yeah, Jimbo says, Mr. Hammond, the link is bad. Maybe he was doing a bit, and the lights would have gone on during in the thing.
Like Button looks at it and he goes, now when we send the new link, he's like, it's a Linux system. I know this.
A CD-ROM. Yeah.
That's what's happening today.
Button's head on the
Button. You didn't say the magic word. Please. I hate this hacker crap. I hate this hacker crap. We are 6 likes away from changing 150. So if you're watching over on YouTube today, fire us a thumbs up. We are hoping to connect with Craig. I mean, Craig is basically connecting like a 100% clip since he joined us. So this would be very strange if Button can't connect today. Brendan sent the new link, but he's not connecting immediately, which is kind of strange. Very much a Jurassic Park vibe today.
I hope it's a Jurassic Park. I hope it's the long play from Button here. Like this is.
So there's a conversation over about who starts game 1. Like Skinner came back, pretty tidy game, wasn't super busy.
Yeah.
Pickard last night didn't have a ton of help. Didn't play a great game either. Not that.
Do you have a coin here that we can flip?
It was a fun debate for a bit, but man, Button connected again, and it's still.
I think he's got the.
Still all. Craig, if you can hear us over there, if he's on his computer, he might need to like completely close the browser and reconnect because that camera could be connected to the last time he attached. Or maybe he has the cover on like his camera or something.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we'll get him one more try there, and then maybe we phone him. Maybe we just have to get Button on the phone today.
Word in the nasty chat's pissed. He goes, Stu starts, stop asking.
Yeah, though that's the. Well, but no, like the other. Listen, wait a second here.
This is a sports talk.
Look, last week we posted a poll for you guys, and in that poll, 42% of you said Pickard should start game 1. So I guess my question to Eric was. I mean, we're getting.
How did you phrase it? Who would you start, or who do you think the team starts? They will start Skinner.
Yeah, I mean, they're gonna.
But taking it to the streets, asking the people who they would start.
Less than 5 days ago, 42% of you thought Pickard should start game 1.
Yeah, so
I'm just saying, in the last 2 games, you saw Skinner come back, look okay. Pickard last night. It's tough to gauge anything that happened last night.
But we've been gauging depth scoring down the stretch, hey. Like
I mean, that is true.
I do
like,
love how
guys,
this season. No, it's nothing. It's nothing. Well, but yeah, like.
Well, that's what they need. Like they need.
Pick a side.
They need Arvidsson and Brown and Henrique to score when McDavid and Draisaitl are also in the lineup.
Yes,
you know what I mean. Like if that can really click, then you might be on to something. 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. All right, Craig Button. We're hoping to connect with Craig. Gage will be by around 8:30. We'll get his thoughts on this Darcy Kemper thing. To me, he's trying to connect again there, Brendan. We'll see if maybe we can get him in this time. Still not there. What is going on here? All right, let's. We got to talk to Craig today.
Get him over the phone, eh?
Oh, we might have to go over the phone. This doesn't make any.
Pick up the phone.
Doesn't make any sense. All right. Let's see here. Let's get Craig's number to Brundon, and then we'll connect with him on the phone today. I'm not too sure why his computer's not connecting like it does all the other times. It's kind of strange.
It's been going at a good clip.
What's that, Button?
Yeah, I mean, his success rate's been...
Yeah, I mean, this is... he's been more...
highly unusual.
He's been more effective than Vladdy so far this year. All right, Brendan, I text you his number. Let's just call him and try to get him on. We'll try to get him on there. A Big Maple says, Gazdic thinks Pickard should start. I don't disagree. When did Gaz say that? Was that on one of the broadcasts recently?
He was on with Reed and Jay yesterday, I do believe.
Oh, well, yeah, it must have been with Reed and Jay then.
But yesterday. And that's fine to think that, and you can think whatever you want, but the organization will start Stuart Skinner, right? Somebody said Stu will start, Pickard will finish the series.
Yeah, I don't think that'll be the case. Okay. I think Skinner will probably start it. You'll see a little bit of Pickard in there, and then what was the ridiculous stats about Skinner last year? Remember, he was really good games 4 through 7? Like Ridiculously good games 4 through 7.
The closer.
It was the start of the beginning of series that just didn't.
Which totally bombshells your bullpen theory there with Pickard coming. You know, it's kind of the reverse.
Yeah. That's an interesting thing to look at. All right, 780-218-9999. We are going to have Craig Button. Brun is getting him set up on the phone right now. I'm sure we'll mock his current video skills. I don't know.
Take the lens cap off.
Yeah. All right, let's get into Craig Button, brought to you by Pro-Am Sports, your locally owned sports memorabilia and apparel specialist. Let Pro-Am help you with their team fundraiser, no-risk auction, and raffle items. Visit them in store for all the details. Located in Edmonton, the corner of St. Albert Trail on 120th Ave, online at proamsports.ca. So instead of selling like chocolate-covered almonds, which are delicious, or jerky, you can use their no risk auction and raffle items, and it'll help you. It'll help you with your fundraiser. All right, let's bring in Craig Button today for Pro-Am Sports. Mr. Button, are you on the phone?
I'm on the phone. I could hear you guys. I don't know why I wasn't connecting, but I was starting to feel like Rory after he hit the ball in the water. I was thinking that the Masters was slipping from my hands. I could feel it slipping away from me. I didn't like that.
We were trying to play it safe by getting you on video, and then into the drink, And we had to give you a call as well. This is such a throwback, Craig. Hey, like this takes us back to the old station days when we just do audio. It's kind of strange not seeing it right now. I'm kind of creeped out a bit, to be honest with you, Craig.
I feel the same way, like trying to understand it. And then you're going to have to tell your kids like about radio, and they're going to go, radio, what's that?
It's when you used to have to talk to people and nobody could see you. It was very strange, very strange. All right, so the Oilers played the Kings last night, Craig, and I mean, they were missing like close to half their roster, which is a little bit of an exaggeration, but most of the big boys were out. So how much, and they get spanked at home. If you're at the game last night, you're probably not loving it. You're like, oh, they got to play these guys. But how much stock can you really put into that game? Or when the Kings shut them out a couple weeks ago, 3-0, when McDavid and Draisaitl also weren't in the lineup. So how much you read into last night's game?
Nothing, not one thing. It's a reality. It's an acceptance that, we're going to start on the road. We need to be healthy to give ourselves the best chance to beat a good LA Kings team. And a couple of weeks ago when they got shut out in LA, I think it was a real, I called it discovery for Chris Knoblauch. See what other players can do with a little bit more ice time, see what they can do against some pretty good challenges, because those challenges are going to show up come playoff time. So for Chris to have that opportunity with the players in the game in LA a couple of weeks ago when they got shut out, I think that was good. Like in terms of just being able to get information and intel. Last night, there's nothing. But what the Edmonton Oilers should do, though, when they're sitting out their top players and they have a game like that, there should be some reward for the fans that have to go and endure that. And I don't know. I'm not going to say, give them their money back, but, there should be some reward there, I think, for sitting through that game.
I would also say I fully support the give you your money back thing.
Because you were there.
Can you imagine that? Like, there's no McDavid, Draisaitl, Hyman, Wallman, Ekholm, none of these guys. So here you go. Here's your money back. Fan appreciation night. Like, that would be great.
Well, and then we do get the Sharks tomorrow at 8:30. That's going to be something to watch. Craig, I wanted your thoughts to the Kemper Pierre-Luc Dubois trade. Probably one of the best trades ever in pro sports between the two parties involved. But the Kings seem to have their goalie finally in this playoff series with the Oilers that they've been having for years here. How big of an X factor do you think he will be? Of course, not putting too much stock into last night, but looking ahead to the series, just how big do you think Darcy Kemper's influence will matter?
I think it will matter a lot, Eric. He's had a fantastic season this year for the LA Kings, who are a tight defensive team. He's gone through the experience of winning the Stanley Cup and the whole run, understanding how to keep yourself steady and stable and everything that goes with it. So when you have that experience, it helps you just understanding what you're going to be facing when a goal goes in. Okay, no worries. But I think the fact of the matter is that he's been one of the very best goaltenders in the National Hockey League this year.
If it wasn't for Hellebuck overshadowing all the stats, he is right there, right?
No question, Eric. And so he is an X factor because if you want to go do the tail of the tape, the check mark in goaltending, there's 2 check marks for the LA Kings and there's none for the Edmonton Oilers. And I'm not trying to jump on Stuart Skinner or Callum Pickett, but that's where there's a significant edge for the LA Kings.
Yeah, it would essentially be the equivalent of a 10-8 round in boxing. Like the way the goaltending has been so far this year. So the Oilers, these guys, and multiple times we have heard Knoblauch say, if it was the playoffs, some of these guys could go. So how dangerous is it, Craig, to sort of just plan on flipping a switch come playoff time by getting, 90% of your guys back healthy here right now?
Well, I think I think it's huge. I think that to be able to have the opportunity to be as healthy as possible is the key. I mean, the playoffs are unforgiving, and they're gonna take a lot out of you, just normal healthy players. And if you're not healthy and you're trying to get yourself ramped up to the level of intensity that is required for the success in the playoffs. You know, when you're a little bit short in the health area, it's going to affect you. And health plays a big factor in terms of playoff success. And certainly the Edmonton Oilers are trying to find a way to be at their at their optimal health when the playoffs begin. And, you know, we know Ekholm's going to be out. We don't know what the state of other players are, Frederick, Kane, but for McDavid and Draisaitl, making sure that they're as healthy as possible, because those two guys are the massive X factor for the Oilers, and you want to make sure that they're ready to go. We saw what Leon Draisaitl did in 2022 on a bad ankle, so you know, getting him right up to speed and McDavid up to speed, they can swing a series into the favor of the Oilers.
NHL analyst Craig Budden with us on the show this morning on the phone for Pro-Am Sports. Craig, I think most fans are sort of just conceding maybe a one-game suspension for Darnell Nurse for his cross-check on Byfield last night. Do you expect it to be anything more than just a game?
Yeah, I mean, I know why everybody's saying a game, because there's only one game left in the regular season, and you're down at home. You don't want to be without Darnell Nurse. One of the things that the Department of Player Safety looks at is situation, time of game, score, and everything, and that's what could get Darnell Nurse 2 games, because it wasn't a hockey play.
Yeah.
And you have that type of scenario there. And keep in mind, the Department of Player Safety keeps raising the bar. They've been raising the bar. And certainly, you know, was it something that was like vicious? No. When I say vicious, understand, I mean a degree of viciousness, but not a hockey play, and time of the game and everything that goes with it factors in here, because you know, you can understand the context of a battle and whatnot. There was no battle there. And that's what could get Darnell 2 games.
Craig, next time we chat with you, this Oilers-Kings series will already be underway. So, I mean, they've beat them 3 years in a row. I think Kemper's obviously a big difference maker this year for the Kings. Do you see the Oilers making it 4 years in a row against the Kings, or are they in trouble this year?
I think they're in trouble, Dustin. And, you know, again, like somebody said to me, are you going to bet against McDavid and Draisaitl? I'm not betting against McDavid and Draisaitl. That's not what you're doing here, what I'm not doing here. But the Oilers have not played very well since the Four Nations break, and even just a little bit before that. They've had glimpses of some good play there. But last year, they were rolling into the playoffs. I mean, they were a juggernaut. Defensively, offensively, the goaltending was outstanding. Well, the offense isn't rolling. The defense hasn't been very good, and the goaltending has been spotty. Those, other than those 3 things, everything's good.
Craig, Demidov dazzling.
I think they're vulnerable.
Yep, vulnerable. Demidov, though, shifting to the east, his Habs debut couldn't have gone any better, I guess, unless they locked down a playoff spot. But your thoughts on him? An assist,
heck of a goal. But again, falling. The hype train was already insane.
The tracking of the flights, the airports. I mean, then he has the night he has. Again, aside from locking down that playoff spot, almost a perfect evening.
Yeah, well, and it was. Well, I mean, he didn't make a very good play on the Lucas Reichel goal. I mean, one of the things he's going to have to learn is that how quickly transition happens in the NHL, and he was back but not back, and Reichel stepped in there, and that ended up being a significant goal. But you're going to learn, and the hype train is warranted. I mean, this was one of the very best players in the KHL this year, Eric. So when you have that success in that league, and you have it, and that confidence that goes with it, a little bit older, and you've played there, I think that it gives a player every reason to believe he can come in and make a difference. And that's exactly what he's capable of doing. And the timing couldn't be better. The Montreal Canadiens need more offense after the top line, and certainly Demidov was able to provide that. He's such a gifted offensive player. He's creative, he's imaginative, and when you put it all together, you could see that he was not in awe. I was saying to a friend of mine last night through text, I said, the good thing, one of the things you see with good players is that they believe in themselves and they don't fear the reaper. And Demidov doesn't fear the Reaper, and you go into Montreal, the love affair is just beginning. And let's just say something too. We have to listen to the Ohtani. For how many days do we have to listen to Ohtani going to the Toronto Blue Jays? He was never even on a plane there. So let's give it a break when there's real genuine excitement about a player. I mean, the Ohtani thing was manufactured excitement. There's nothing manufactured about Demidov.
Craig, as always, man, thank you for the time, and we will see you next week.
You guys look great.
There you go. That's Craig Button, brought to you by Pro-Am Sports. Apologies on the camera thing. I don't know. We've seen people pop on and their camera just sort of blacked out before. Sometimes they've got it like covered because of the movie Snowden. And then other
Craig.
Yeah.
He's got the tape on there.
Craig watched Snowden last night and was just like, I got to put tape on the camera
I
now.
could still hear the salmon shirt though. Like
you could tell he was wearing a salmon shirt.
You could just feel it.
100%. But so Craig Button says he thinks the Oilers are in trouble. Points out that he believes they're vulnerable right now in this series against the Los Angeles Kings. I mean, if you're a Kings fan, and so I went to the driving range yesterday. I went to Lewis Estates. Some guy rolls up to the driving range in a full Los Angeles Kings jersey.
Love it.
Like the jersey at the range. It was almost like a nod of respect. I was like, look at you, man.
I saw a few Sharks fans waddling around downtown last Friday.
I don't believe you.
I'm dead serious.
Really? It's a weird thing to
Well, what did you do to this Kings guy? Did you?
I actually wrapped up my session, left some balls in my spot, and was like, "Hey, go, man! Like,
that's
you
good.
can hop in there if you want."
Good car, like you're.
Yeah, I was trying to. It's a pay it forward thing.
Yeah.
Like it in the drive-through, right? It's the same type of thing there.
Yeah.
So I'm curious what the national media, when we get to all the predictions for the series and stuff, and you see like TSN and Sportsnet, and they have all their predictions from all their staff. I'm curious to see where they come out on this Oilers-Kings series. The line has not moved. Just going over to our partners at CoolBet. Check them out at coolbet.com. And if you've not yet signed up for an account, use the code LOCKSHOP. When you do, you'll get a 100% deposit bonus on your initial deposit up to $200. Edmonton Oilers minus 133. Still, so the line hasn't changed since yesterday. So they are a betting favorite. But what will most people be predicting? I'm curious to see where it's at. I'm also curious to see if anybody around here is going to pick the Kings to win the series. We've got 10 people on staff, essentially. Like, what do you think the split is among the office here? 50-50?
I already know. I think I know where our next guest in the third hour will be going.
Gage seems like he's on the Kings.
He's pretty, yeah.
I think Iwanek will be on the Kings.
I think I might.
As it stands right now, but they're not ridiculous takes. I think I'll still.
It's a good 2-3 series. I mean, it's.
I think I'd still buy into McDavid and Draisaitl against the Kings. But we'll see. Well, we'll obviously get to some official predictions later in the week. Mind you, there's only 2 more days left in the week, so we'll have to get to these on Thursday.
Not just picking, but in how many games. That's the exercise.
Yeah, that's always fun. So right now, you can go the final game of the series.
Like if you pick the Kings earlier, you think it'll be a long one or a short one? That too kind of.
Like the odds makers right now, as I just look at these odds, they're essentially saying Oilers in 6. Because the final game of the series to be game 6 is plus 195 is the shortest odds. A sweep is 6-1. Plus 250 for it to end in 5, plus 195 for it to end in 6, plus 200 for it to end in game 7. So, and the Oilers are a minus 133 favorite. So Oilers in 6 appear to be what the odds makers are setting the series at. The interesting thing though is they might be the betting favorite, but I think a lot of people might view them a little bit as an underdog in this series. So I'm curious to see what state of mind the group is in. Like, do they go into it? We've said it multiple times. The Oilers, when like their backs are against the wall and they're being viewed like they really sort of like a dog in the fight, like go
and that's
get
why
it.
even people picking against them is that reverse psychology thing.
Like if somebody goes up to McDavid in scrum and goes, 80% of the Sportsnet team picked the Kings to win. Like, that might be the best thing that could happen for the Oilers. So
even the Dano verbiage last night.
If you look at power rankings, the Kings are pretty much higher in most of the different power rankings you'll see right now than the Oilers. I think it should be more of a pick'em than the Oilers being a minus 133 favorite, but 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. If you are watching over on YouTube today, hammer the thumbs up for us. Where we at? We're 10 away from changing 200 here before 7:30. Easy peasy. Let's do that. Hammer the thumbs up. Let's blast through 200 here at 7:30. We got confessions coming up next. What do you need to confess? 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. I do think the Oilers, like in my mind, I think they're it's tough. I think they're a slight underdog going into this series with the year that they've had and the ups and downs and
starting on the road.
But I think I'm still picking them because of McDavid and Draisaitl.
And because of that dog.
Official predictions on Thursday. We'll make it like a thing across all of our shows. We'll lock into some predictions. Matty doesn't do predictions though, right?
No, he doesn't. No.
He might have to this week. I mean, as the host of the Hangout, maybe you don't do predictions, but isn't he? He's on with Gage all week. Might be time to step up and make a prediction.
This isn't just a fireside chat anymore when you're in the studio here.
Anyway, those are all the odds that you're looking at. As for tonight, I know this is like really. Well, I mean, there's some games tonight in the NHL. We'll get to this on the Log Shop a little bit earlier.
The West is interesting tonight, yeah.
Flames get Vegas tonight. Nothing game for the Golden Knights. Everything on the line for the Flames.
Changing 200.
Nice work, Brendan.
And Wild and Blues.
I think my favorite play of the night, though, is Memphis Grizzlies +7. I think John Morant has some swag. I don't think they're going to upset the Warriors, but I think they keep it close. So let's go Grizz +7 for your cool bet hotline of the day. But I don't like Flames at home against a Vegas team that probably be sitting a few guys. Don't hate that either at -112. A couple of options for you there. We'll dive into that whole NHL slate on the Lock Shop today at 11. All right, weekly confessions on the way next. What are you confessing? We're in a safe zone here. What are you confessing? 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. We'll get to that right now. A sports update for the fine folks over at Park Mazda with Lieutenant Eric.
Kings shutting out the Oilers 5-0 down at Rogers Place last night. Edmonton without a handful of players, while Darnell Nurse was assessed a 5-minute major in game misconduct for cross-checking Quentin Byfield in the back of the head. The Oilers will close out the regular season tomorrow in San Jose. Elsewhere last night, Blackhawks over the Habs 3-2 in a shootout. Wings scoring 4 in the third as they'd rally past Dallas 6-4. Rangers 5-3 over the Panthers. Utah defeating Nashville 7-3, and Jake DeBrusk scoring in overtime. Canucks edge the Sharks 2-1. Action tonight, Seattle at home to the Kings. Vegas visit Calgary. Minnesota at home to Anaheim. Blues host Utah, and the Lightning will welcome in the Florida Panthers. The Atlanta Braves doubling up the Jays 8-4. Game 2 of that 3-game series will go later tonight. First pitch 5:07. Kevin Gausman, the scheduled starter for Toronto. In the NBA play-in tournament, that gets going tonight with a pair of games. Out east, Atlanta visit Orlando, while the Golden State Warriors are at home to the Memphis Grizzlies. Sports update brought to you by the great staff at Park Mazda and dealer principal Mitch Lewicki, where he confesses that he thinks Scalding Hot Takes needs a new judge.
Hi there. If you're like me, you like to picture yourself in luxury, even though there's absolutely no way you could afford it. And if you can, well, even better. Thankfully, I picture myself in something that is luxury, but still absolutely affordable, like the all-new Mazda CX-90 from Park Mazda. With the new luxury features like facial recognition settings and quilted detail Napa leather seating, I can pretend to be comfortable with all of my proper settings activated without even touching a button. Thanks to Mitch Lewicki and the great staff at Park Mazda. I like to picture Mitch Lewicki as a ninja fighting off evil samurai.
Park Mazda, your dealer for life in Sherwood Park off Y Road, parkmazda.ca.
It's the Halloo Crew.
I'm your Huckleberry. Oh, dude.
It's the Halloo Crew. It's the Halloo Crew. It's the Halloo Crew. It's the Halloo Crew. Halloo, 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 halloo.
Oh, dude.
It's the Halloon Crew.
You tell them I'm coming, and hell's coming with me, you hear?
It's the Halloon Crew.
Hell's coming with me!
That is a hell of a thing for you to say to me.
It's the Halloon Crew. It's the Halloon Crew. It's the Halloon Crew. It's the Halloon Crew. Halloon, 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 Halloon. It's the Halloon Crew.
It's the Halloon Crew. I saw Normology from the Halloon Crew in the chat. It made me think, hey, we should play that on a Tombstone Tuesday. Why not? There you go. Thank you very much for being here. Dusty, Lieutenant Eric, and Brundon. The Hangout coming up at 9 o'clock today. Make sure you stick around if you're watching on YouTube or listening on TuneIn or iHeart or at EdmontonSportsTalk.com. The Edmonton Oilers, one final tune-up for the postseason as they get the San Jose Sharks super duper late tomorrow night, and then it'll be playoff time against the very Los Angeles Kings that they did face last night. Shaggy in St. Albert, he's been on tilt all season. Says there's a reason they're finishing third in the division because they did not take the regular season seriously. Keep believing that they can pull a magical switch and turn it on for the playoffs. And Smitty the Welder says, keep believing the Oilers are a bad team. So everybody keep believing something, I guess.
Year whatever it is of McDavid and Draisaitl, though, and you're not getting home ice advantage is a bit of like just reading that sentence alone.
This is the first time.
Is a little bit of an indictment on
the first time that they've made the playoffs with McDavid and Draisaitl that they weren't the number 2 seed. Haven't been the number 1 seed, haven't been the number 3 seed. They've always been the number 2 seed. But how's that worked out for them? Haven't won a cup. Maybe going as a number 3 seed. See how it goes this year. Look, the Kings are really good, but I don't think the Kings are this unmovable force that the Oilers can't get around. And let's see what lineup they roll out for the beginning of the playoffs. And if it's McDavid and Draisaitl, they give you you always have a chance, regardless of who you're playing. Doesn't matter how the rest of the lineup is. Look, if the rest of the lineup plays well, then yeah, they could go on a run again. But in one series, McDavid and Draisaitl can carry you to a victory. They have not played a lot of hockey lately. It all comes down to if you believe they're genuinely banged up or they're just getting a little bit of extra rest. So we'll see. Keep the text messages flying in, though. It's going to be a great couple of days. Continue to get you ready for this series. The Nielsen Show brought to you by South Fort Chevrolet. Drive a little, save a lot at South Fort Chev. $8,000. Save up to $8,000 on 2025 Silverado 1500s right now. Text us in the Paris Jewelers inbox. One of your text messages will win the A&W text of the day, and we're coming at you from the Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen studio this morning, where it's always delicious at Popeyes. Check out their value menu. Get that snack-sized chicken sandwich, which is still a pretty good lunch. Get your hands on one of those bad boys today.
Pickle out.
Popeyes. All right, let's get into... I left the pickle in one time.
And it didn't even...
No, it wasn't...
You've lived to tell the tale.
I got through it. I prefer them without pickles. But, the pickle actually adds a little something to it sometimes. But I prefer them without pickles. All right, let's get into your weekly confessions brought to you by Spectrum Rental, where they confess to believing everybody gets shut out now and again on a cool Monday evening. Rent your spring cleanup equipment from Spectrum Rental and stay shutout proof for the remainder of spring. I like that. You'll never get shut out with spring cleanup equipment from Spectrum Rental. Get your hands on that stuff now. I still have to wait a bit. We still got half of a rink in our backyard. So Tammy's always like, this rink could have a backyard there. The kids could be playing. I'm like, calm down, and the ice will melt eventually. I guess I should get a blowtorch. I'd be a hero. I should get a blowtorch from Spectrum Rental and torch the backyard rink.
Just pressure wash the whole thing.
I think it would be more fun with a blowtorch.
Whatever.
Like the Mandalorian, for goodness sakes. All right. What are you confessing, Rick?
I must confess, I don't mind the Prime broadcast.
You're sick. You're sick.
I thought this was a safe space.
Yeah, sorry, it is. Sorry, totally safe space. Well, I just send in your confessions now. 702.
I didn't say I liked it.
Yeah.
Look, it's the second last game of the regular season. I don't mind a bit of a change. It was something hearing different voices calling an Oilers game on TV is just it's different. I didn't say it was good. I didn't say I liked it. I just said I didn't mind it, and I thought it was kind of hilarious at times and I get what people and I find it funny that people get so offended by it.
By the Prime
people
broadcast?
just get. Like, it is the worst thing to ever happen, which it's really not. In fact, it's kind of cute. It's kind of adorable at times. It's like, oh, yeah, Kemper, they're pulling him in a highly physical, dirty game. Like, I wonder if something happened. Did he tweak something? Well, no, you idiots. He didn't. Like, clearly, we all know that. But you're at home and you're kind of doing the DiCaprio thing, pointing at the TV. No, he's not. He's fine.
He's fine.
So I find, I don't know. I find that kind of entertainment within the game to kind of watch a crew like that. And I mean, I whatever. I confess I kind of find it funny that people get so up in arms about it because it's just, it doesn't matter. And as you said too, I mean, you only get, this is the only one I've watched of the Oilers all season long. You had the other ones during NFL season. You're sitting in the bar, whatever. I personally haven't had to endure a lot of Prime broadcasts, so maybe I haven't gotten the full.
I wonder if it's been worth it for Prime. Like whatever, however much money they gave Sportsnet, I wonder if they're like, this was totally worth it.
Yeah, I'd like to be in the boardroom when they do the whole, closing up a meeting or whatever on it. But, and a little Adnan Virk is fine by
I'm
me.
I'm very meh
whatever.
on the, I don't watch Prime outside of when it's Oilers game.
And I think they had Struddy on too, but they only showed like a highlight package of him playing for like other teams beside the Oilers or something like that. Like,
okay, but to be fair to Prime here, how many highlights did Struddy have with the Oilers?
Well, in general. But they found them all with other teams.
Yeah.
No, I don't mind it. I don't like it. I just don't mind it.
The doc is in and says the broadcast was ball washing the Kings with zero shame. Big Slam Nasty says the only good part of the Prime broadcast is that they show warm-ups. D-Rock says the intermission is brutal. That lady loves the Kings. Deutschland Dangler says Dusty going to the game saved him from the Prime broadcast, which was atrocious. Hambone says the best part of the Prime broadcast was when it ended. Redbeard agrees that the Struddy pack was odd.
Of all the things, though, you bring him on to talk about this. Like,
they lost me earlier in the year when I tuned in for some Prime games early, and they're like, now if you're not familiar with the Montreal Canadiens, here's the history.
I love it. It's so bad that it's good. That's what I like about
Prime is acting like they're the only ones that have ever shown hockey on television.
It's so unaware.
It's just, I don't know. Hopefully in year 2 they do it differently, but yeah,
it's that the basic stuff. I give it to me all night long.
You know what? This sounds a little bit greasy because I still do games for TSN with CFL, but Prime should try to raid the CFL, the TSN guys, and like bring some guys over from there.
Yeah,
TSN,
Glenn Sutter could be explaining what things are. Oh,
I'm talking TSN hockey. Like, they only do the regional broadcast now, but those are great teams. Like like I know some of the producers that get those guys and throw them in some primetime national spots on Prime. I mean, you got to raid to get. I mean, they need to be better if you're going to keep doing that. Like, your confession 780-218-9999 780-218-9999. Abutski says, "Hey guys, I confessed this early in the Nasty Chat, but I read the Jurassic Park book when it came out, but I've never actually seen the movie."
I also read the book.
I read the book too.
Different, right? Like,
I very rarely read books, but I read that book.
The Lost World too takes a totally different approach than the movie.
I also read The Lost World. Those are the only two. Since then, I read LeBron's book that Marc Mageau lent me. It's still in my nightstand. I've had that thing for 10 years. I should bring it in here next time he comes in the hang. I'll be like, Mark, just wanted to return this LeBron book to you. But I mean, if I'm sitting here talking about full novels I've read my entire life, the answer might be less than 10. Honestly, Jurassic Park, The Lost World. I don't even know what other ones. I can't even think of another book that I've read.
You must confess.
Yeah, I mean, my confession is I've read 2 books in my life, and it was Jurassic Park and The Lost World, and then the LeBron book, and I used to read a book all the time when I was a kid. I'd get from the Cranbrook Library called The Enormous Egg, which was pretty good. It was like a chicken egg, but it ended up becoming a dinosaur egg, and then the guy had a stegosaurus. It was kind of fun.
College was fun, eh? Yeah. Or was that? Oh no,
in college? Yeah. I really liked The Enormous Egg. I read it a lot in university. I didn't even read readings for university.
You watched the
the movie with John Lithgow,
Don Quixote,
and then I wrote Don Quixote, and then I wrote the paper. And the professor was like, "You just watched the movie, didn't you?" I was like, "I did."
With
like
Jonathan Lithgow
last night at midnight while I was drunk. Like it was the worst paper of all time. But I wouldn't do any of the. I wanted to get into broadcast school at the college. First year I applied, I got denied, so I didn't get in. And I was like, well, if I can't even get into school, I guess this is never going to happen. So I got accepted to the university instead. Went to university for a year, and then like midway through university, found out that I got accepted for the broadcast program at the college the next year. So I gave up. I was just like, I don't care. I stopped going to school. I just played Tony Hawk all the time. I worked at Save On. And I don't know if I read anything through the whole year of university. I can read.
Yes.
I read relatively well, but I don't like wasting my time is going like this. It's just like.
You should try Braille.
You know what? I was thinking about Braille the other day.
It'd be.
So how do people find the Braille?
You reach out.
Yeah, but how do you know it's there? We were in Disneyland, and I was like, I saw like a Braille thing, and I was like, oh, like that seems super handy, but I'm also like, how do you find it?
Just blind faith. I trust in the fact that it's going to be there.
Kind of confused me. It's very handy, but how do you? Is there like a trail that get? Like I don't know. I wasn't sure about that. Here's my confession. I am officially putting Bunting on that list of guys that I would like to be better buddies with, but I'll never have time to be better buddies with. I've already got like a pretty good group of guys on that list where I'm like, man, I think we could be really good friends. But then it's like, I have time to see you like once every 4 months. Bunting is officially on that list after last night. Great conversation. Like it was just a good conversation.
Where on the list though? Does he rocket to the top?
It's not a long list. You know, like, because in order to like get guys on that list, you have to have time to like go out and do stuff with them. So, like, I've got like a very short list of guys that I'd like to be better friends with if I had time in my life to do that. And Bunting is now on it. Like, what a good guy. It was fun last night. Good conversation. He's an awesome dude. He really is.
Shoe game
was on point.
Yeah,
I held it strong. I had my orange Nikes on. It was looking good. I had my hat backwards for a little bit because I was out downtown, you know.
So downtown.
Yeah. Bunting's just buying or selling. He's your guy. I know his segment advice is tomorrow, but I'm telling you, even if you don't want to sell your home, he's such a nice guy. You should sell your home anyway. I honestly, I'm considering it. Like, let's just do it.
You would fall backwards, eyes closed, and just
100%. I would 100%.
He's the Braille. He's there.
I know I would probably squish Bunting, but I'd still be like, he'll catch me.
You'd break the fall.
He'll catch me. Like, I'm jealous of his other buddies who have time to hang out with him.
In the garage.
Wherever it is.
Right? Like
wherever it is.
Yeah.
I might just, you know what I might start doing? I might just start being like, hey, man, I want to come check out this viewing. I want to come and then just hang out and be like, hey, you want to go grab a
mixed business with pleasure. Yeah.
Maybe.
I see. Yeah.
780. But how many of you are like me where you got like some guys and you're like, oh, man, I'd like to be better friends, but like with a wife and kids and family and work and being gone every weekend in the summer. Like, I got no time for friends.
Yeah. That's like me with you.
Yeah. I'm on your list.
I've always wanted to break down the wall, but I mean, I've just never been able to do it.
I got no time to hang out with anybody.
Too busy reading.
It's like, yeah, sorry, Rick, I can't do anything tonight. I'm rereading Jurassic Park. All right, let's see here. Dudley texting us says, guys, I have to confess that all game yesterday, all I was hoping for is somebody would run Darcy Kemper. Like, going into the game, you have to realize this is your opponent first round. Playing your B squad, I'm sure there's somebody on yesterday's roster that we could have sacrificed. Yes.
Well, Byfield's been playing really well as of late. So.
It was Max Jones. Like, Max Jones' one job yesterday was to injure Darcy Kemper.
Yeah.
And he didn't do it. So I know you had 6 hits. Very cool. But you had one job. William Mike Spear is in and says, hey, guys, I've never admitted this before. But he's obviously only willing to do this because we're in the safe zone right now. It's a safe
confession. Yeah.
But I confess that I can only snap my fingers on one hand. I can't snap the fingers on my right. Am I weird? I mean, I can snap on both, but one side is significantly like this.
You defer to the...
Like this, my right side. My left side's kind of
weak.
You're
not that... Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, which is kind of weird because I'm a bit ambidextrous with sports, but I can't... The snapping's tough.
Try brushing your teeth with your left hand. That's a trip.
Oh, that'd be weird. You injure yourself for sure.
Clip that.
This text is in and says, I haven't read Jurassic Park, but I did enjoy Billy and the Clonosaurus. That comes from Stephen Leduc texting in for the first time ever. Come on, Dusty. You should have had to read some novels in Cranbrook High School. But did you really? I had a buddy, my buddy, the Wuss. We were in like English together in like high school, and you had to do a book report. And he just made up a novel. And every day he'd go in to do his book report, and he'd just write more stories about like he just make it up.
He's writing the story.
He'd just write the story and be like, and then this happened. And
how
then this
could you be wrong?
And he did it for a whole semester. And like the teacher was never once like, is this even a real book? But Riley would come into class and be like, yes, you'll never believe what's going to happen in my story today. And he really ran like grade 10. We're like we're trying to read a novel and like write about it. And he's not even reading. He's just making up this make-believe story for his book report. And nobody ever called him on it.
Like one of those choose your own adventures, eh?
Pretty genius move, really.
Not even a comic book? You never got into...
No, I didn't read comics. I would read hockey newses religiously. Trying to think what we even had to read in high school. Like I read The Outsiders in like grade 8.
Movie's better.
I can't remember the book. I know the movie's got some
They
big
eat a
names.
cake.
Hernan Salas. Did you re-listen today? Hernan Salas made the ridiculous claim that The Outsiders is top 5 movie of all time. Hey, Hernan, this just in. Watch some other movies. Like nothing against Pony Boy or Stay Golden. Like I get it, but top 5 movie. Even Gager was like, "Come on, man,
well,
you're
this
being
is like
ridiculous
you
here."
with Jurassic Park. I mean,
I'll never forget where I was when that happened. I was driving in my truck, listening, going to that meeting with Rick Hand, and I pulled over. I like messaged in. I
almost
like,
went off the
Hernan, like, have you seen Outsiders? Like, I think you're just, you know how it's
not bad.
Exaggerate on a take, and then you're like, that's it. I'm all in.
You in the Jurassic Park books.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the only thing he's seen, probably is.
Matt at the Garrison says, hey guys, I confess, when I check the community mailbox, I throw my junk mail into the outgoing mail slot. Oh man.
Well,
that's kind of greasy.
Reworking the cycle there.
That's kind of greasy. 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. Good confessions. I see the chat is still coming unraveled because of the game last night. That's okay. We'll get you through it. If you're watching over on YouTube today, hammer the thumbs up for us. We are 65 away from changing 300 the morning after a loss. A loss that didn't mean anything.
No stock.
It just no stock.
No stock. No chicken, no beef, none.
At all. If it was the golf show, it'd be Murray McCourt sitting here with nobody right there. No stock. That's a Curtis Stock reference because he co-hosts with Murray. All right, let's get fired up for Gemco. What has you fired up right now?
Officiating, eh?
What's your level? Oh, I get, you know what?
Yeah.
Should I do a preemptive strike on officials? I don't hate the idea. Fired up for Gemco, proudly serving Edmonton, an area for 45 years, and they're the authorized dealer for Napoleon fireplaces. You want gas? You want wood burning? They got them all. Look no further than the Canadian-made. These are Canadian-made Napoleon fireplaces. All the Napoleon products you need, where are they available at? They're available at Gemco, 9281 50th Street. It's Gemco, 9281 50th Street. Go and get your Napoleon fireplaces at Gemco.
It's best to leave the chat as is.
Is it off the rails today?
Shall we say fired up?
Okay, though here, I'll get fired up. How can you read into last night's game at all? Like how? Like honestly, yeah, Kemper's good. You barely tested him. You're testing him with a bunch of dudes who shouldn't even be on the bloody ice. So I don't care how good Kemper was last night. And, the last time they got shut out, congratulations. No McDavid and Draisaitl. Woo, well done, Kings. Ooh. Like, you cannot be mad or sad or anything about last night's hockey game. It was a nothing game. We were all fools for attending, to be honest with you. And what did you really think was going to happen last night? They were going to win that game? Please. How did they say? I've got a prince overseas that'll sell you something if you believe they were going to win that game last night. Like, come on. I mean, you put zero stock into that game. They were playing a dude who signed in the morning. You expected they were going to win that hockey game? Come on. You can't get fired up about anything that happened in last night's game. Literally nothing. And this is supposed to be when you're fired up here. But this is the segment to be fired up. But I'm telling you, don't get fired up about last night's game. Don't read into last night's go, oh, they lost last night 5-0. They're not going to be able to beat the Kings. Come on. Don't lie to yourself. Yeah, they might not be able to beat the Kings, but don't lie to yourself about last night's game. Non-factor in the overall bigger picture. And if anything, last night's game helps the Oilers. The Kings go home fat and happy, all good. No, we got home ice. We're so good on home ice. And then the Oilers come in with, I don't know, the 40% of the roster that wasn't playing last night. And not just 40% of the roster, the good 40% of the roster. They had the bad 60% on the ice. The good 40% weren't available.
C team.
So, you cannot. I mean, the chat today with people on this team right now, don't worry about last night's game. And no, don't worry. They could lose 14-0 to the San Jose Sharks. I'm not going to care anything about that game either.
Oh, yeah.
I mean it. Wow. I mean it. I swear to God. I swear to God. I mean that.
14-0 with McDavid in the lineup?
Doesn't matter. Now, first of all, it won't be 14-0 and McDavid's in the lineup because I guarantee Connor McDavid, it's the most biggest lock of all time in betting.
The point.
Connor McDavid plays on Wednesday. He's getting at least a point to get to 100. I don't think.
This might fire you up as well. Josh Clausen tweets 30 seconds ago, another gusty afternoon on the way.
Damn it. I'm golfing today, Klaus. God, the last thing you want on your first round is the wind messing with you.
You're right into it now.
And then you're going to come home and your head's going to be all sore because of the wind.
An earache.
Should I wear a toque today golfing?
Cotton in the ear.
Just because of the wind?
Yeah, why not, hey?
I don't have a toque.
Oh, jeez. Sure, Maddie's got one in his office. Card cam.
Actually, no, we don't have two. Oh, actually. There are toques in that office. I'm going to have to go stealth mode on this one. I'm going to wait until he's on EST afternoon so he can't stop me.
Maybe a scarf.
I'm going to run out of the office with a scarf around my neck and a toque on my head to go golfing today. All right, 780-218. I don't know. I don't think you should be fired up for anything coming out of last night's game.
40-kilometer-an-hour gusts midday.
That's not too bad. I remember I was walking one time. It might have been to write the Don Quixote paper because I didn't have a computer at home. So I was walking to the University of Lethbridge
to write your Don Quixote
from where
paper.
I was, and it was the wind must have been. I swear to God, 90 kilometers. It was a classic, but it was in the winter, so it was a blizzard.
Yeah.
And I was trying to walk to the school again. Somebody pulled over randomly. I wasn't even asking for a ride. They pulled over. They're like, "Hey, dude, you should probably get in." I was just like, "Thanks." It really saved me here. I was going to die on the way to the school to write a Don Quixote paper.
You said all that, yes.
Yeah. So that was tough. Hampton Steve says, I'm fired up for WrestleMania this weekend. The buildup hasn't been great, but there are several matches on the card, which could be 5-star classics.
Dolphin Nation texted in earlier. He was on his way to the airport and flying down there, so wish him all the best.
Flying down to WrestleMania.
To the Mania, yeah.
Martin says, Dusty, wear a hockey helmet with a bubble. That'll protect you from the wind. Rams fan texts in and says, why does Josh Clausen hate Dustin Nielsen?
I guess that's what it boils down to, hey?
Yeah. I mean, he's doing this to me, obviously. This one is in from Jason and Leduc and says, confession, when I'm listening to the stream on iHeart and you guys read my text, I will switch over to YouTube and watch it again for the extra joy of dopamine.
I like that.
All right. Keep the confessions rolling in.
Yeah, rope-a-dope. El Presidente says.
Yeah,
we haven't heard that term yet this morning. I think the first time
how did the old
rope-a-dope
rope-a-dope work back in the day, right? If you rope-a-dope, you win 100% of the time. Look it up. Burgerler is in and says, confession, guys, I'm annoyed that you don't read every single one of my texts live, even though we all know that's impossible.
K-Pole says, I was going to die out there, Dusty, as he gets into a stranger's vehicle.
Yeah.
Well, but...
yeah, and then I said to him, I said...
From death to death.
I got in his vehicle. I said, thanks, man. Like, it was freezing.
You're welcome.
Here's the lotion. But then I said to him, I said, any thoughts on Don Quixote? As he driving me to university, like, let me know. What'd you think? Who was the protagonist? I need to write it for my paper. And then put one of those little things at the end of it where you have like one and then you have to reference things. Like
Yeah.
I'm not a big paper writer, if anybody thought I might
I
be.
can see that as you
I don't
scribble down whatever. Oh, yeah, very great penmanship.
According to my notes today, it's time for kind of easy trivia for Mr. Mike's. If you would like to play today, we've got a gift certificate to Mr. Mike's Steakhouse Casual up for grabs right now. Come and get it. Text Brundon, 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. If you would like to take a run of this gift certificate for Mr. Mike, 780-218-9999. So I guess I was fired up today to say, don't be so fired up about the game last night.
Yes.
For Napoleon products, available at Gemco. Gager's going to join us around 8:30. We got 3 questions too many coming up. We do need one more question for 3 questions too many. I would probably prefer like a off-the-radar question. We already have Oilers stuff. We got some NBA stuff. A non-sports question. 780-218-9999. Submit that as well. But if you want to play kind of easy trivia, let Brendan know right now. He'll pick one of you, and you will play. 780-218-9999. If you get through, you need 3 of 5. You get 3 of 5, you win a gift certificate to Mr. Mike's Steakhouse Casual. Marmot Basin Snow Report, the wrap for William Huff still to come. Let's get to a sports update right now for the fine folks at Windsor Plywood Leduc with Lieutenant Eric.
Kings shutting out the Oilers 5-zip last night. With the win, LA clinched the second seed in the Pacific and will have home ice advantage against Edmonton to start the playoffs. Oilers without a handful of players last night as well. Darnell Nurse assessed a 5-minute major and a game misconduct for his cross-check to the back of Quentin Byfield's head. Oilers will close out the regular season tomorrow night in San Jose. Puck drop at 8:30. Other action last night. Habs fall in the shootout 3-2 to the Blackhawks. Montreal still yet to lock down a playoff spot in that one. Wings scoring 4 in the third. They rallied past Dallas 6-4. Was the Rangers over the Panthers 5-3. Utah 7-3 victors over Nashville. And Jake DeBrusk scoring in overtime, leading the Canucks over the Sharks 2-1. Some playoff positioning in the West to figure out later tonight as the Flames are at home to the Golden Knights. Minnesota host Anaheim and St. Louis welcome in Utah. The Kings will visit Seattle and the Lightning are at home to Florida. Braves doubling up the Blue Jays 8-4 yesterday. Game 2 of that 3-game series goes later tonight. Kevin Gausman will get the start for Toronto. First pitch 5:07. And the NBA play-in tournament tips off tonight with a pair of games. Orlando, Atlanta, Warriors and Grizzlies, while tomorrow it'll be the Heat visiting the Bulls and the Sacramento Kings at home to the Dallas Mavericks. Sports update brought to you by Windsor Plywood Leduc, locally owned and operated, serving Leduc and the surrounding area since '93. Doors, flooring, baseboards, and of course, plywood. Go see the knowledgeable staff at Windsor Plywood Leduc.
I'm through with watching a team that simply just can't win. It's time for the playoffs and the Oilers are in. Turns out this season was better than you thought it would be. Tell me what you got. They've got a brand new captain with a C on his chest, and around the league they know he's best. And if you don't agree with that, then you just made the list. Sorry, old dog. They've got a goalie that has no limit. Every single night the net he's in, and he joined the 40-win club, and Fuhrer said that's fine with me. Been there, done that. Sorry, boys on the bus, but they've got new stars renamed 104th McDavid Boulevard. Corner between Dry and Pat Maroon is fine for me. So tell me how they did it. They made a trade some thought was lame, but they picked up Lawson for what's his name. Cause we all just wanna watch the playoffs and be down on white when the shirts come off. The girls ain't easy and the drugs aren't cheap. Can't go to the game, ticket price is too steep. So we'll hang out at the coolest bars and drive around with flags on our cars. Every bandwagon fan gonna play this song and cheer for Pisani cause they don't know he's gone. Hey, hey, I wanna watch the playoffs. They made a trade some thought was lame, but they picked up Lawson for what's his name. Cause we all just wanna watch
8:05 on the Nielson Show. Strummy over in the chat says, vintage Linkin Park is the best Linkin Park. That is our playoff song from 2017. It's now 2025. That's 8 years old. I can't believe that song's 8 years old. That's yeah. Sorry, old dog. You just made the list. Those are good times. All right, the Nielsen Show is brought to you by Southport Chevrolet. All of our Nielsen Show songs, though, brought to you by Totem Outdoor Outfitters. If you have a kid starting a sport where you just need new equipment in general, I think many sporting journeys begin with Totem Outdoor Outfitters. New gear, used gear, trade and consign your gear. A sport for every season with hockey equipment and skates ready to go year-round. A family store that takes pride in finding the right fit for you. Visit them at 7430 99th Street or online, www.totemoutfitters.ca. All right, 3 questions too many on the way. Gage will be by around 8:30. Marmot Basin Snow Report, the wrap for William Huff, all still to come. More of your reaction to the game last night, but not really. The only thing I liked about last night's game is that there was some greasiness to it. I like the fact that they kind of pushed back a little bit last night or tried to start some stuff up. Didn't lead to anything about a bunch of face scrumming in 10 minutes, but whatever. There's they weren't just going through the motions, I guess, which they could have been. They were kind of going through the motions offensively. They didn't generate anything. Darnell Nurse had that one where the sea just parted for him, and he just was like, "Oh, I guess I'll just take this breakaway," and nothing on that one.
But not even a fight.
Yeah, I was at some point. I was like, "Somebody fight somebody."
You and Bunting wanted to. You were at the fight night. You wanted to fight.
Stoff would have fight somebody. All right, kind of easy trivia for Mr. Mike's. Are you ready to stake your claim, good sir? At Mr. Mike's, of course, people are. Mr. Mike's, 2-course steak dinner for just $39.99, 40 bones. Start with the Emperor Caesar salad or the rustic onion soup, and then enjoy the tender 7-ounce sirloin steak with béarnaise butter, garlic mashed potatoes, loaded with savory toppings. Mr. Mike's, eat locally, enjoy casually. Ooh, Zach took him over in the chat. Meeting with my golf teacher today. Breaking 100, episode 2 is in progress.
Zach the wrench?
Yeah, how'd Zach get a wrench? How'd that happen? Anyway, who's playing kind of easy trivia today, Brendan?
Got Vaughn.
Vaughn is going to play today. Needs to get 3 of 5 correct. Vaughn's played before. He knows what's up. He's a vet. Vaughn, you ready to play?
Yes.
Okay. Say that again, Vaughn.
I said I am.
Okay, all right, perfect. I couldn't tell if his phone was there or if he just got a deep voice. All right, here we go. Brendan will start the ticker after read the first question. Good luck, man. How many goals did the Oilers score last night?
0.
Who will the Oilers play in the first round of the playoffs?
The King.
What sport does Quinn Hudson play? You can pass.
Golf.
What position does Darcy Kemper play?
A goalie.
Did the Blue Jays win yesterday? Oh, he got it. That was gross, but he got it. God.
With that voice, though, bonus points. Eh?
Do the father voice thing.
My name is
My name is Julius, and I'm your twin brother. I've been looking forward to this moment my whole life. Excuse me, but I was just taking a shower. Tell me a little bit about Vincent. Was he a great athlete? Was he interested in chess and poetry? My name is Julius. My name is Julius. My name is Julius.
You cannot come to my house. No, not today.
You cannot come to my house. No, not today.
K-Pole says, is that the voice that picked you up on the side of the road?
That's what it sounded like.
Need a ride?
No, I'm good, sir. Thank you for pulling over.
Don Quixote, eh?
God, I love when you do. You know what? I should have asked Vaughn at the end of the joke. What's another name for dad?
The father.
Also, tough look for Quinn Hudson there. What? I didn't even ask what team the kid plays for. He's the guy who made his Oilers debut last night. And Vaughn paused for about 11 seconds and then said, golf?
Well, golf. Not a bad guess. Quinn Hudson, I could see that name being featuring on the tour.
Yeah, it does sound like something's on full swing. Today on Full Swing, the episode with Quinn Hudson.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, hello, friends.
Not a live guy like Clausen. But.
No. All right, we've got 3 questions too many. We'll get to that. The reaction to Vaughn obviously was terrific. Guys, you have 12 hours to pay the ransom, or that guy's going to kill the hostage. That's a good one. We got some pretty good text today. That one's in from Beaumont Dusty, which I like to imagine is just a slightly different version of myself that grew up in Beaumont.
Pat's never seen Vaughn or Renee in the same room.
All right, let's get into it. Do you have a liner for 3 questions too many today?
3 questions too many, brought to you by the great staff at Park Mazda and dealer principal Mitch Lewicki. Will be boycotting Joaquin Gage's upcoming segment this hour. Park Mazda, your dealer for life.
So you gotta go head to head with Gager on this voting today, eh? Because you clearly have a bone to pick from Kind of Easy Trivia last week.
When he judges, when he's a guest, I mean, that's fine. I'm just saying Mitch and Park Mazda are going to be doing their, I will treat him as a guest. He was in yesterday. He's actually he congratulated me on my podium finish in our Formula One fantasy.
Oh, did you finish on the podium?
I haven't been able to log in since the first race. He's got to show me how to get in there. So
I know.
I don't know if it's Yuki Romeo or Yuki.
Let me see. I'll look it up for you here.
One of my Yuki teams was.
I tried to. I went in a couple weeks ago and changed my.
I can't get in.
See, I was just Google F1 fantasy login, and then it pops up. Oh, speaking of Google, the other day Elizabeth Googled Dustin Nielsen and like a bunch of stuff. She comes run up to me. She's on her tablet. She goes, "Daddy, you're on Google."
Oh God.
I was just like, "What?" She's like, "Yeah, look, there's pictures of me." I was just like, "Yeah, it's kind of."
She's become aware.
She was very excited. She goes, Tammy comes in. She goes, "Mommy, Daddy's on Google." I was like, "It's okay." All right, so it is a little frustrating, the F1 fan. Well, actually, I just clicked sign in and automatically sign me in.
Nah, damn.
You should have saved. You save passwords. For stuff.
Yeah, I know.
I don't think I'm doing very well.
Both teams?
I saw somebody picked all the 5 best racers. I guess one race a year you can pick. There's no salary cap for a race, which I was not aware of. But very, very cool had done that. I texted Gager. I said, "Is this allowed?" He goes, "Everybody gets to do it once."
Ice Coop still close to the tie.
Let's see here. All right, so Shift Happiness, very cool. Listener, he's in first. Cass is in second. Barry's in third. Oh, the boys picked a ringer here, didn't they? Yuki Romeo. Romeo? Yeah, you know it. Oh, yeah, Romeo, yeah. You're in fourth right now. Cass's other team is in fifth. So the top 5 are Cass's 2 teams, Barry's 2 teams, and you.
Where's Yuki Tori or Tora?
Let's see here. Hernan, Kimi Moore. Coop's Cruisers are in 7th.
Coop's Cruisers.
Tommy Gazzola, one of his teams, in 9th. Hernan's other team's in 10th. Well, that team's Dusty Fears Latino Heat. He must have done that right after a Tecmo loss. And then I'm in 11th. What was your other team name?
Yuki Tori.
I think I have to load more for this one. Yuki Tori's in 24th.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Well,
anyway.
Yuki Romeo, we're all into that.
Gager's got to be pretty pleased with the league. Like, there's a lot of people in here right now. Gager's in 12th and 14th. He's gonna have to pick it up.
Oof.
Anyway, he'll join us around 8:30.
He's playing possum.
Do you have a good text today? Was because I said, "What do possums say?" Like, I'm playing me, and somebody said, "No, possums say, I'm playing Bouchard." Yeah, which I was just like, "Oh, that was Dex." He's in the mix for text
from
today.
the top rope.
It was pretty clever. 780-218-9999. If you're watching over on YouTube today, we are 32 away from changing 300. So that's easy peasy with how many people are watching right now. Hammer a thumbs up for your boys. It just helps. It's like a free way to contribute to our growth, which we would very much appreciate. Whenever you're watching one of our many shows on YouTube, hammer the thumbs up for us. Did you already plug your Twitter account?
No.
Okay, let's do that then. Eric, do you have a Twitter account?
I do. It's at Lieutenant_Eric. You can follow on Twitter.
Cool. Have you ever retweeted Brundon?
We actually,
you guys follow?
We got into this while you were away once, I think.
Oh, nice.
What was it
That's
again?
Good. Yeah. What's your thing again, Brundon?
It's Brendan Eric with an underscore after.
Actually, we followed each other on Instagram. We don't follow each other on Twitter.
Oh, well, let's change that, eh? Like, if it,
like that,
if it means anything, I didn't start following Zach on any social media for like a year.
I mean,
and I still totally do, but it took a little while.
Follow, mute.
All right, question number 1. And I think we probably know where like a bunch of people have come out on the chat today at least. But question number 1 is, do you guys believe or agree with the Oilers being the favorites in this series against the Kings?
Agree.
They're a betting favorite. Do you agree with that?
Sure.
I think this is the biggest sit on the fence take of all time. But I think the series should be viewed as a pick'em.
Yes.
Like, to me, there's no favorite and there's no dog. This is just a straight up coin flip between these two teams. Is that an anti-Oilers take or an Oilers homer take? To say that,
that's a good question.
I think it's a coin flip. Because I don't even know where the chat would come out on this with the way that some people have been like, they're done, and others are like,
I think that's an Oilers. It's a slight homerish take because the Kings are,
which I would agree with.
The Oilers are in third, and they're 4 points up.
But the Oilers are a minus 133 betting favorite. So if you look at that, this is actually like an anti-Oilers take by taking a little bit away from them to say it's a pick.
The betting favorite is determined by a variety of factors, not just going off of the standings and who's. I mean, the Kings finished better, so they're like, that's.
Do you think? Here's our question for you then, because we're doing questions for us. Let me ask a question of all of you, listening, watching, whatever, however you're consuming the show right now. Do you view one of these two teams as the favorite in this series, or do you just like saw it off, like Dewey Cox's brother and Walk Hard? Just saw it off right in the middle. Spoiler alert. Because I think it's more of I don't know if the Oilers are a clear favorite, but I also don't think they're a clear dog. I don't. Ryan from SK says, fair take, Dusty. Keep those texts coming in. 780-218-9999. Kevin Van Dussler over in the chat says it's an absolute dead heat. Jacob Sagan says the Kings and Oilers have the same amount of wins. LA has more points because of more overtime losses. These two teams are equal. Penner's Pancake says, I'm not betting against playoff beast mode. 29 and 97. Nintendo Switch Cult. Have you ever seen Nintendo Switch Cult in the chat before? I haven't, but I do have a Nintendo Switch.
And he's getting into underlying metrics.
Yeah, the underlying metrics, other than goaltending, pull hard for the Oilers. But hockey is mostly goaltending. So toss up. That's what I'm saying. Toss it up. Yeah, the underlying metrics. The power rankings yesterday that TSM put up for like where teams are at right now, coming out of the final week of the regular season. The Oilers were third in the league, one right behind the Kings. But they had the expected goals for stat category in there. And if they weren't the best, the Oilers were close to the best team in the league for the expected goals differential.
Yeah.
So if you love that type of stuff, then boy, are they the team for you.
I'll hit you though with that percentile wheel. You know, that one that goes around where it's like, chances of
yes.
Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, what'd they say?
40-something% to make it out of the first round. The Kings are 50-something, which is close to being
the odds say the Oilers. It's this series is a toss-up. This series is a toss-up.
We've sliced it and diced it here.
Adam Anderson, he's a crack pack guy. Actually hit a couple of autos on Sunday in the crack pack. A coin toss seems appropriate. A healthy Oilers team is better, but is this Oilers team healthy enough?
And you think they are?
I think they're more healthy than they're leading on to be,
but we don't know for sure.
Saskatoon Muncher says, I don't think we can answer this question until we see who the Oilers roll out with in game one and how they look after the first 20 minutes.
We can't really answer it until the series is over.
You'll never be able to answer, maybe. Even after that series ends, you might be like, still a toss-up. If you think it's going to go the distance, 7 games, plus 200 at Coolbet. If you think this thing's going to go 7, so you can double your money there.
It'll be a long series. I think we can all agree on that one, right?
Yeah, I don't think this is a 5-gamer again. Kemper concerns me, man. We'll get into that with Gager when he joins us. Question number 3, which NBA team needs to win a championship the most heading into the playoffs this year? It's a very good question, and I don't think there's a crazy obvious answer. Maybe I'm wrong.
Need to?
Hashtag association.
The Thunder have had such a great season that it'd be a shame that
it would, but it's not like they've been where they're at 4 times.
No,
and they haven't been to a final. Same with Cleveland on the other side too. Like Cleveland's a great team.
The Knicks, that franchise has had.
This might be an interesting. Yeah. What about the Clippers? Like, you've rested Kawhi essentially all year. He looks healthy now. He looks good now. You got James Harden. Like, are you going to be able to run it back with these 2 dudes again? You've been playing very well down the stretch.
Oh, I see. You're taking from like a last chance type of
because I don't
last
think
call and
I don't think it's like if the OKC Thunder, who had a ridiculous regular season, if they lose in the Western Conference Final or they lose in the NBA Final, you're going to be like, well, they're set up really well for the future.
Yes.
This was sort of their first run at it.
I hear you.
It's not the end of the world. Yeah. Same thing with that Cleveland team out east. Boston just won one.
And I say the Knicks because of their storied history. Yeah. I mean, that's to get the stank off them that they've.
But really, like, when you look at this conversation, it kind of comes down to the monkey on the back to me. And because what's the question? Which team needs to win the championship the most right now?
But needs to from what point of view, right? Yeah. In terms of what's your roster going to look like next year, or
I just don't think OKC has to win one right now. I think there'll be some other windows for them.
Sure.
Yeah. Jimmy Onishi says, I'm saying OKC for SGA.
Pulling for them because of SGA. But again, to the question, needing to, that's a different.
You know what? Maybe Denver's this answer. They've got the job done once.
Fire the coach,
They're going through the coach and the GM change. Yeah, but
you don't need
like
that.
What if it ends up? I was listening to a podcast the other day. They're like, maybe they should trade Jamal Murray. Maybe they should. You know what else is ridiculous? I heard some people be like, maybe Kevin Durant should go to the Nuggets. I'm like, oh man, KD just like you can't. His legacy just. Oh my god. I don't like that would be insane.
Jokic to the Raps.
Denver has one, but I'm saying, is this the last push for Denver with Jokic and with Murray and with Michael Porter Jr.
But wouldn't need it because they just got one recently. With that.
Yeah, but I don't know if they'll get to run it back with this group again.
Fair enough. I'd say the Clippers over the Nuggets. given your explanation.
Yeah, no, I think the Kawhi, James Harden thing, they're a good team, man. Clippers got the big and Zubac. He's legit. Powell's having a good year.
What about Minnesota? Going all the way that they did last year. I mean, you'd now, anything less would be a perceived step back.
Yeah.
You've got the Ant-Man, that
they
type of thing.
They did make the trade. They moved Karl Anthony Towns out, brought in Randall. Hello, Newman over in the chat says, not OKC. They've got a long window. They can go big game hunting with all their firsts over the next couple of years.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah, like OKC could be a team that
but just
takes a run at 72, 73
given the season
dubs.
they had, not really a need, but it would be great to add a chip onto. To not get there with everything you've done would be a bit of a letdown.
Question number 3. This one I think came in from Hersey. If not Hersey, then it was someone else. What is your favorite summer activity that you are most looking forward to?
Oh, biking.
Oh, you are a big biker.
I love biking. I've had the privilege of growing up. Are you going to bike
to work?
No.
Oh, okay.
That's dumb.
Oh.
Well, because then I'd have to carry the bike up here, and
you could chain it just inside the basement door there. Victor could steal your bike.
I don't trust. I've had too many stolen bikes in the past.
Yeah,
mess around with that. It stays in my basement.
It does.
I bring it inside. It's got a nice place. I can't wait.
So you can't wait to hit the river valley,
hit the trails. Get out the Trail Forks app if you know. You know.
I don't know.
It's great living in a city with a river, man. Get the bike out and. Send it, as they say.
Would it be less enjoyable sending it if there was no river?
Yes.
But you're not technically in the river. Like, how does it impact?
Not in the water, the valley.
Okay, so what if it was a valley with just a small creek?
Banks. Still probably not the same.
Probably not the same, eh?
Not the. You wouldn't get the amount of track. You'd have a little one. Wouldn't be the same.
Summer for me. I mean, a lot of the stuff I find fun. Don't really have a ton of time.
You're going golfing today. I mean,
I'm going, but I don't really have too much time to golf. You know what? I'll just say it. It's a bad answer because it's work, but calling CFL games in the summer.
Getting on the road, eh?
That's what I like the most.
Seeing the country.
I like calling CFL games. The ridiculous talent level in that league right now.
Hanging out with suits.
Superstars, non-superstars. 3 Down posted again about, like, Gino says this again about her.
And you can't, you took the bait, man.
I did take the bait. I didn't click on the link to read it because I was like, what else is going to be said? But I replied to Dunk. I was like, dude.
You love it. Well, you know
when are we going to put this thing to bed?
That's what they do.
And then JC Abbott, I know these guys. Like, I get along well with them. He's like, I would think the Broadcaster League would want some spice. I'm like, guys, we've been talking about this for 3 months already. They play, I'm doing that game, Ottawa-Edmonton here. Ooh. Obviously, it's week 5, I think. I mean, but we don't need to talk about Gino Lewis being a superstar, not being a superstar, or Herb not saying that. Like, you don't need to talk about that for 6 consecutive months, you guys. But you're right. I mean, they clickbaited me.
Hard. You love it. You love that story.
I got baited like a fish.
You can't get enough of that story.
No, I'm done with that story.
No, it's clear. But you can't.
I can't do it.
You're all over it.
Like, move on.
You want more.
Let's start talking about the draft. Let's start talking about other things. I don't care at this point. Yeah, they said what they said early, and there was a little bit of a dispute, but that was months ago. And they're still posted like new articles like Gino doubles down. Cool. Herb triples down. Like, enough. Everybody just be adults and move on, man.
Somebody called it 3 Dumb Nation.
Oh, I wouldn't go that far. Like I like those guys.
I get it. Yeah.
I like those guys, but I mean they can be a little baity at times. But I mean that's the business. That's the business. It got me.
You love it.
Well, you get a sucker like me. A
mark.
But if I see a post next week about it, I'm going to call Dunk on the phone and be like, dude, you got to stop this stuff. All right, Gager's going to join us coming up here just after 8:30. We'll get his thoughts on. Like Gager yesterday, I asked a question. We're sitting around the office yesterday. I said, what's your level of confidence right now in the Oil? And Gager's was pretty low. He's pretty low. I don't know if last night would have been like the final blow for Gager's hopes.
Hanging around Hernan.
Dreams. Yeah, you know what? Hernan is starting to rub off on Gager. Used to be like the ever optimist. and like hanging around with Hernan is just, he's like, oh, God, I hate hockey. We'll get Gager's thoughts on how, come playoff time, can they get to Darcy Kemper, who right now is rolling. I got the stats
His
right
numbers
here. This is insane. He's got a .922 save percentage and a 2.0 goals against average. Can you imagine what the Oilers' regular season record would be if Skinner had a .922 and a 2.00?
Well,
they'd have 60 bloody wins.
Hellebuck's first in save percentage. Kemper is third. Do you know who's second?
Vasilevsky.
Anthony Stolar.
Of course. That's out of there. Of course.
The one that got away.
The one that got away.
Yeah, well,
I knew the moment they didn't keep that guy around.
Yeah,
Remember that day?
Yeah, I heard you
say this could be the guy.
Yeah. Then.
All right, so how do you solve Kemper? We'll get into that with Gager. Marmot Basin Snow Report still to come. The wrap for William Huff as well. If you're watching over on YouTube today and you're a sneaky little free YouTuber guy and you haven't subbed to the channel yet, doesn't cost you anything anyway, still free. Sub to the channel for us, and we are 3 likes away from Brendan changing 300, which is nice to see. So give us the thumbs up if you're watching over there. Hang out on the way in about 29 minutes. Joaquin Gage. But before we get to Gager, let's get to a sports update for a place where it's always game day. Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge.
Kings shutting out the Oilers 5-0. LA will now have home ice advantage against Edmonton to start the playoffs. Darnell Nurse last night assessed a 5-minute major in game misconduct for a cross-check to the back of Quentin Byfield's head. No word yet on further discipline. The Oilers close out the regular season tomorrow in San Jose. Sharks falling in overtime last night, 2-1 to the Canucks, while the Blackhawks defeated the Habs 4-3 in a shootout. Montreal still yet to lock down a playoff spot. Action tonight, all to play for in the West. Flames host the Golden Knights. Wild at home to the Ducks, while the Blues entertain Utah. Kings back in action. They're in Seattle, and the Lightning will play host to the Panthers. Braves over the Jays 8-4 to take game 1 of a 3-game set. Game 2 goes later tonight. First pitch 5:07. Kevin Gausman, the scheduled starter for Toronto. NBA play-in tournament tips off tonight. Orlando at home to Atlanta, while the Golden State Warriors entertain Memphis. Tomorrow it'll be the Heat visiting the Bulls and the Kings at home to the Mavs. Sports update presented by Centric Casino Sports Bar and Lounge with wall-to-wall TVs, daily food and drink specials. It is the place to be for every Oilers game. Every day is game day at Centric Casino Sports Bar and Lounge.
DRS, DRS, drop that wing and try your best. Get up close, you've got to press, must be within 1 second or less. Show that speed, please don't swerve. Hey, look out, here comes a curve. Hit the button, be ambitious. Goodbye, Mikey, too judicious. Around the world, they will prance. Red Bull Ring to Paris, France. And you never want to finish second best. Push on and refuse to lose, drop the wing and then use DRS, DRS, DRS.
.833 on the Nielson Show. Thank you very much for being here. Man,
What a week, and it's only Tuesday.
Going to the game last night, I just said to Rick, I'm so tired today.
Well,
so tired.
You get out of there, and then you got to.
I didn't get home until about 11:20.
Sure, yeah.
And we left a little bit early. Me and my good friend Damon Bunting. I don't think either of us wanted the night to end.
Oh, that's just
but,
it. Yeah.
we had to. I had to get home, but I didn't get home till 11:20. Prepped, went to bed just after midnight. But I usually go to bed but it's just like being out.
Well, you're out,
doing stuff,
and you going downtown. That's your
downtown. Like emotionally,
stress levels are
my body was so
tense.
stressed.
You're tense, yeah.
Because when you go downtown, you have to have that presence. Like, don't come at me.
Yeah. You need a water massage.
That would be
after your round today. Maybe just nip on over to the mall.
Tell Tam, hey. I've been golfing all day. It's been great. We'll go to the mall, get a massage. That'll go over pretty well.
I'm sure it will. Cook County Thursday.
It's not happening, but imagine if it did.
Well, maybe Damon Bunting makes a call and
maybe there's a
two of you. Could you?
Hey, I'm trying to put him on the friends list.
Twist your rubber arm, yeah.
All right, Joaquin Gage is going to join us from EST Afternoons and Two Guys and a Goalie, brought to you by Pro-Am Sports, your locally owned sports memorabilia and apparel specialist. Baseball is back. Start the season fresh with a new hat. That's what you love to do, right? You got to get that new hat. From the brands you trust, Pro-Am specializes in the new era, low profile, 5950. Wear what the pros wear. These are the legit hats. These aren't the hats that are ordered and come over from China. These are the legit new era, low profile, 5950 hats. Located in Edmonton at the corner of San Albert Trail, 128th Ave, or online at proamsports.ca. Gager, what's up, buddy? How you doing this morning, Joaquin Gage?
I'm good, boys. How's everything at the studio this morning?
Everybody's very measured from last night, hey? Like it's
I think
very
for the
calm,
most part, kind of
calm morning,
ignoring the game in general last night. Gager, like what would you take away from last night's game, if anything?
Kings are a good team.
They are a good team, Gager. You're right.
There's their defensive structure is sound. You're going to have to do something special to get into those hard areas, and Kemper's a good goalie that you're going to have to do something out of the ordinary to get the puck past him. That's it. I mean, other than that, I think it was just I don't know if the refs acted like the cops at the bottom of Smith Crossing on 23rd trying to fill a penalty quota last night, because it was just ridiculous. Like, I mean, maybe the coaches got together and said, hey, we really want to work on our specialty teams tonight or something like that. But
it was insane. Every time you looked up, there was another penalty.
And maybe they had that game management thing where, okay, these two teams are going to meet in the first round. We want to make sure this doesn't boil over too early and something weird happened before the playoffs. Maybe I don't know. But yeah, it kind of took away from the overall flow of the game.
What do you think of Nurse last night? Is there a game suspension coming?
I hope it's just a game, Dusty. You think
it could be more, Gager?
Well, it's vicious, right? And regular season, I think it's 2 games. Playoffs, it's maybe 1. So maybe they find somewhere in the middle. It's time served and the last regular season game. But I just thought, gosh, that's I think selfish is the right word in that situation where, you got playoffs coming and you're a huge part of the team. Not that you weren't before.
But this just in, the other guy on the left side's not available for you.
Exactly. And you're cross-checking a guy in the back of the neck while he's prone a couple games before the playoffs. It just a slight brain cramp with Darnell at that point. I mean, you can kind of give him the stinky glove and push down on his face when he's on the ice, but a full cross-check, to me, that's intent to injure, and it's at least a game. And would I be shocked if it's 2? No.
Gager, you said Kemper's good, not great. I'm going to take that and run with it. What are the areas in terms of a goaltender that the Oilers can exploit in his game? He's at the top or near the top in a lot of metrics this season, but where do you see kind of the cracks in the wall when it comes to Darcy Kemper?
Well, when I watch Kemper, I find that his lateral movement is quite good, right, from side to side. So, and the Oilers generate, for the most part, throughout the regular season, a lot of scoring chances, breaking that middle line, right, going across to Draisaitl, things like that. I think a way that you can start breaking down Kemper, and I think it's with a majority of goalies in the NHL, is using that low to high play. So, and I found that these last few games with a lot of players, and especially Connor McDavid, you see him kind of going wide and going behind the net and finding guys going from that low position to high. And I think that's where you can exploit a little bit of Kemper, because he's not overly aggressive, but those types of plays, I think you can get him trapped in the blue paint with quick shots. Look, most likely he's going to stop that first one. This is where you're going to have a net front presence in those types of situations, which I think that the Edmonton Oilers have done a lot better since the big two have gotten out. They've scored a lot more of those playoff type goals, but that's what it's going to take. And doing that, having the puck low, having Kemper trying to find different places of where the danger's coming from, locating the puck and just wearing them down. Not kind of unlike what they did to Korpisalo a few years ago. Yeah. I think once they started establishing that low play to high, they really started to pick apart his game and wearing him down to the point where he was just he wasn't even close to the goalie he was at the beginning of the series at the end.
We haven't seen the whole Oilers lineup together for quite some time, Gager, and I think some of it has been legitimate injuries. I think they're probably picking some spots to get some guys some rest. Where's your level of belief in them being to reunite as a group here for game one, flip a switch and kind of get back at it here?
I think Oilers fans are hoping for that light switch to flip, right? It hasn't been great since the Four Nations. They've kind of been limping into the playoffs, but they're the oldest team in the league. They're a veteran team. There's lots of experience. If there's any team that could probably switch that light on, I would give the benefit of the doubt to the Edmonton Oilers. And we were talking, Dusty, it's just a cavernous hole that without Matthias Ekholm, that other guys are going to have to try to fill that void. But with Connor, the way he's looked, now you're going to have Leon Draisaitl completely, hopefully rested up and feeling good about himself. You have to give the Edmonton Oilers a punching chance. It's just when we do those checklists and we put groups up against one another, there's two check marks that I think right now I have to give to the Los Angeles Kings, and the one check mark is in net with Darcy Kemper, and the next one is their defensive core. You can't give them the check mark because of Connor and Leon. And it's a little bit encouraging to see that list of players that have contributed offensively over the last 5-6 games. The unlikely suspects kind of putting the puck in the net, so that's a good sign. But we all know that to win championships, you can't outscore your problems. It's defense that wins, and in both of those areas, I think I got to give check marks to the Los Angeles Kings.
Are we done with the conversation about who starts game one? Like it's Skinner for sure. You still don't know?
I don't know, man. Yeah. I still don't know. I like if we're it's really funny how last week everyone wanted Pickard to start. Now it's everyone wants Skinner to start again. If I don't take a lot from the last two games, yeah, they're getting reps and Pickard wasn't great, but he made some okay saves, but it wasn't the complete team. Skinner looked okay in Winnipeg for not playing in a few weeks, and maybe this rest has helped him. Look, I have a strong feeling that you're going to see both goalies in the first round at some point.
Yeah.
I just liked how the battle of Pickard lately, and maybe it's the goalie romantic in me, Dusty, that thinking that Stuart Skinner comes in late, maybe in middle of the series, starts rolling with it and has one of those, those Cam Ward kind of journeys throughout the playoffs that ends in glory. So maybe that's the script I'm writing in my head.
It is the Nielson Show. Joaquin Gage with us. Gager, of course, you'll see him on Sportsnet and then right here on Two Guys and Goalie Tuesdays and Thursdays at noon and every single day, EST afternoons. How much are you missing Hernan Salas right now?
None. He's he hasn't called. He hasn't sent.
He hasn't been sending you pictures of himself smoking darts.
I've been getting pictures.
No, nothing personal. Like, hey, have a great show. Miss you. Nothing. Just bagels. He said he was gonna. I wanted to do something special for the show, and he said he's been bragging about how nice his legs are. And I don't think I've ever seen this guy in shorts, so I don't know. But he and I said, well, yeah, let's see a progression. And then so I texted him on vacation, which he didn't text me at all last week. I said, hey, how about some pictures of these legs? And he goes, no, I got to get some sun on them first. So he's already cheating.
Yeah.
And it's infuriating. It's making me
angry.
And
no leg picks from vacation at all.
No Hernan leg picks. Like, he's back in his natural habitat in the heat and stuff. So I was assuming that we'd see these things flexed to their capacity, but
we'll have to set it with Zach's around the office area.
You need sunglasses for those things. I almost made him go put pants on.
All time.
Wow, it reminds me of as a kid. The Colgate pumps with the white toothpaste. Yeah, that's what his legs were. They were bright as the sun.
Gage, let's flip over to Formula One. Bahrain, much better than what we witnessed the week before.
Oh, what a difference a week makes in F1. Just constant passing and battling. It was fantastic. Piastri kind of, like I said, looking like Max Verstappen over the last few years and just goes on a Sunday drive. But the battles of Max and Yuki in the pits. George is like, his car seemed to be falling apart. The Ferrari with questionable tire choices. I liked the theory of going with the mediums to start with Ferrari, thinking maybe they were going to go for the one stop. And you heard Leclerc, he was saying Plan D, I believe, and that was to try to do the one stop. Don't want to get to
Plan D.
But I think it was just, they're already 4 in. Yeah, so it's I don't know. Maybe they started at B. Who knows? But already there was some friction. Lewis saying he's got to pick up the pace here, and then just going to the hards late didn't make sense to me after what they could see with I forget the other driver that had hards early, but it was a great race. And now I think we were talking to Tim Hraney yesterday, and it's is Lando Norris. What does McLaren have to do for him to get some of this confidence back? Because his teammate Oscar Piastri is beaming with it, and slowly, I think if he has another performance like he did last weekend, Dusty, the whole conversation of who's the number one driver at McLaren has to start being asked. And I don't think they want to get into that situation where they were last year with, well, who do we let go? Who's because Lando was closer in the Drivers' Championship. I think they have to have these discussions early and give the guy who's got the better pace in the car the best advantage to win.
Is this what Ferrari is this year, or is there more to come?
Tim said this too. There are, and it confirmed it in some of the things that I read, that there are some slight upgrades coming to that car, and to see if they can maybe unlock some of the performance that they think is there. But if it doesn't work, Dusty, they probably will just scrap it and start putting everything into the 2026 with the new regulations, right? That's going to be the interesting thing about this year is when teams, how close are you in the drivers? How close are you in the constructors? How much time and energy you want to put into these to try to win this year? Or does it just go, you know what? We're out. We got to hit the ground running. We don't want to be behind the 8 ball starting 2026, trying to figure out with all the adjustments to the new car. We want to be more competitive next year. So there's going to be a cutoff, I think, at some point this season. I just hope it's around 5 or 6 cars that are battling for those drivers and constructors championships, right? I don't want to see a Ferrari that's close but then abandoned, and you see them in finishing where they usually are right now, between like fifth and ninth.
Concern, Gage, your Red Bull that Verstappen will lead the team at the end of the year. What odds or chances or percentile do you have on him jumping the good ship Red Bull?
Well, again, 1 week, he goes from winning a race to moving at the end of the season, right? I mean, he's a very polarizing driver. Either you love him or you hate him. And
I haven't met anybody that loves him yet, Gager.
Oh, you should meet my brother-in-law. He's I go into the house and I just go doot 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 doot, and he yells Max Verstappen. So he's all in with Max. But he's been in this for a long time. He's like, I find that I'm like him with Oscar Piastri, where he was with Max. I think he couldn't wait to see Max come into F1. So he's been at this a little bit longer than I have. But I do kind of like the radio messages with Max when he's complaining and bitching about the car. And yeah, look, it looks like things are falling apart at Red Bull. Still with Christian Horner, the whole lawsuit from last year, it's still hanging over the team a little bit. Helmut Marko saying things about the younger drivers. It just seems the cohesiveness of that team seems to have lost. And maybe that was just Adrian Newey leaving. It's just where do you think Max would go? And I do think, because I believe the Honda power unit is going to be part of Aston Martin, which Max has used over the last few years, and the amount of money that Lawrence will possibly throw at him, I wonder whose seat he takes. Right? Is it? Does
Can you imagine
Lance
if it's not Lance's?
Lance and Max together on a team?
I get the nepotism thing, but you can only go so long if Max Verstappen's coming in.
Yeah. I don't. Yeah. That's going to be that's a tough conversation, I think. But it'll be a funny, silly season come summertime, buddy.
Always is. Gage, good stuff, buddy. We'll see you around today.
Can't wait.
There you go. That's Joaquin Gage. He'll be on Two Guys and a Goalie. The 2024-25 NHLPA player poll has been released. 663 players were asked questions. Who is the best overall forward in the league? 1 point, nice work, Brennan. 1.5% Kaprizov, 1.5% Crosby, 6.4% Kucherov, 9.6% McKinnon, 73.89% Connor McDavid. Which is crazy. It's also ridiculous that Draisaitl's name doesn't pop up on here.
It's good this is being released now on the eve of the playoffs. I mean, that's a little more, more oomph.
Yeah, a little bit more. I find this one interesting. Best overall goalie, 31% Vasilevsky, 23% Shesterkin, 15% Hellebuck with the season that he's having.
Kemper nowhere to be.
No Kemper on there, so that's good news. We'll get to all these things on Two Guys and a Goalie today. That'll be a fun thing for us to dive into on Two Guys and a Goalie. Edmonton's second best ice, well behind Bell Center, because of Demidov, obviously, last night. Let's get into your snow report for our partners at Marmot Basin.
The bookbinder of Alberta.
So stoked. Like, winter's here. I'm stoked. You stoked?
I'm stoked.
Just so stoked.
Yes.
I mean, it came down last night, what, a good 5 inches?
Last night, I think so. Something like that, and a couple feet the day before.
You've got a 5-foot base with 5 inches of freshie on top.
No new snowfall overnight, but still 16 centimeters in the last 5 days. The base right now in Marmot, 110 centimeters, season total 324. It's -1 right now, mid-mountain, which is the forecast high for the day. Nice, mild spring temps. All chairs are spinning. 25 runs were groomed overnight, so it's Corduroy City. Join them this weekend for the Corona free ride. Buckets of Corona for $25. Outdoor barbecue. We can get a cheeseburger and a bag of chips for $18. DJs from Good Company Entertainment at Mid-Mountain, and an acoustic set from Pete Chernowski at the Lower Chalet. Lower Chalet.
Chernowski.
Lower Chalet.
Chernowski.
Lower Chalet. SkiMarmot.com. Okay. Oh, makes my day indeed. All right, that is your Marmot Basin snow report. Check them out, skimarmot.com for all the deals that they've got open until early May. Still got a few good weeks of spring skiing over there at Marmot. All right, let's get into the wrap for William Huff. We had our banner up here all day. I know our deal, the 10% off using that code expired yesterday at 6. I think you can still get the stuff though, right? So you can hop online, WilliamHuff.com. They got the stickers, they got the pom-poms. Those look great right there, eh? Nice touch. And then the decals and the banner at WilliamHuff.com. I think somebody who was it? Was it Lingus? Lingus. Let me see. Busy inbox today coming out of that game last night. Let me see here. I thought we saw a message from Lingus earlier today about his. Yeah, he goes, unbelievable. My playoff package was delivered yesterday before I got home from work.
Yeah.
How is this possible? That's my sign that the Oilers are just fine. EST and William Huff have saved this city. Goyle. That is pretty impressive. Like, he ordered it in the morning, and I mean, Bruce is probably out there driving this around himself.
Sprinted up to the door yesterday morning with that box of playoff gear. Like, they're not screwing around. The playoffs are already on for them. This is
it's already
they're mid-series already. Yeah.
Anyway, if you want your place to look as good as ours, you want to pick up the sweet Oilers stuff for the postseason. Let's get it done at William Huff. Check them out, WilliamHuff.com. All right, what did we learn on the show today?
You're talking about that NHLPA player poll. Which player has the best fashion sense?
Pasternak, for sure.
In a tie with Big Poppy, Austin Matthews.
Austin Matthews.
15.75%. They both share top spot. William Nylander, 12%. Line down at 3%, and Rupe Hintz at 2%. Also, happy 33rd birthday this morning to one Calvin Pickard.
Oh, it's C. Pick's birthday.
Picks, yeah.
So, wow, cool. Happy birthday, buddy. I learned that Shaggy and St. Albert is full-blown on tilt right now.
The Nasty Chat this morning has been something. There's a few days that we've been doing this that it's been something else. Today it's been something else.
Shaggy, you lost me when you're like McDavid. No, I'm starting to think Shaggy's actually Jay Woodcroft.
Wouldn't put it past him.
Shaggy and St. Albert.
Jay likes the old online stuff. Hey, he reads
still a little bit bitter.
He reads the press clippings.
So just all over the team. That's in my imaginary world. That's what I'm thinking. All right, let's get to your sound of the day today. Where do we go for the sound? Oh, this is Halloo Crew.
It's a Halloo Crew.
Tombstone Tuesday.
How do? I'm your Huckleberry.
It's the Halloo Crew.
How do? I'm your Huckleberry.
It's the Halloo Crew. It's the Halloo Crew. It's the Halloo Crew. It's the Halloo Crew. Halloo, 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 halloo.
How do?
It's the Halloo Crew.
You tell them I'm coming, and hell's coming with me, you hear?
It's the Halloo Crew.
Hell's coming with me!
That is a hell of a thing for you to say to me.
It's the Halloo Crew. It's the Halloo Crew. It's the Halloo Crew. It's the Halloo Crew. Halloo, 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 halloo. It's the Halloo Crew.
That's your sound of the day. Let's get to your text of the day for A&W, where the teen burger remains iconic. Think juicy, grass-fed beef, raised without the use of hormones or steroids, real cheddar cheese, mouth-watering bacon. Think lettuce, onion, tomato, pickles. There's a lot going on a teen burger, plus the teen sauce. Now stop thinking and get going to your nearest A&W. Enjoy the taste of the legendary A&W Teen Burger today. From Canada's original burger chain since 1956. I think we go back to Kind of Easy Trivia today with Vaughn and the voice.
Vaughn.
Yeah, Beaumont Dusty's in it. Says, you have 12 hours to pay the ransom or we will kill the hostage. That's what Vaughn kind of sounded like today on Kind of Easy Trivia. Phone must have been off a little bit. Like, Vaughn doesn't have that
I hope
voice all
not.
the time, does he? You hope that's just how Vaughn is?
I really do, yeah. Don't spoil this for me.
All right, Beaumont Dusty, congratulations, buddy. You won text of the day. What are you watching tonight, Rick?
The dust hasn't settled in the West when it comes to the wild card pursuit, so there'll be a few games on tap. They include, where is it here? Yes, Wild at home to the Ducks, Flames at home to the Golden Knights, and the Blues at home to Utah. I don't know all of the possibilities and how it could all suss out, but it'd be wild if the Blues would drop out of it can't happen, surely, right?
Could you imagine that red hot? Well, you know what? It'd be crazy. They haven't been the same since Holloway got hurt. Holloway's going to get like a
let
fifth.
That hang in the air for a second.
Holloway's going to get a fifth place Hart vote from somebody who covers the Blues if they miss the playoffs. I think it's a ridiculous thing to say, but I also like the writers are ridiculous sometimes.
Sure. Yeah.
So
this is the NHL.
We watched the NBA play in action tonight.
Yeah.
And I'll probably
more excited for the West than the East, as you said, right?
NBA West is looking insane right now.
And this is after the water massage, after the round of golf at the Ranch Golf and Country Club
in the wind
today. Yeah.
Anyway, I'm looking forward to. Murray said the conditions very nice at the ranch.
Of course.
So I mean, they better be, or I'm going to text them and be like, "This place garbage, Murr." I could never do that. I love the ranch. I'm very much looking forward to getting out there today. All right, for Brendan and Lieutenant Eric, I'm Dustin Nielsen. Stick around. The hangout is on the way, and I believe you two guys are popping on again for the hour thing.
And we're running it back. We did so well that they've requested us again. So
Tommy, Maddie,
rewrite the contract.
Eric for an hour, Brendan for an hour. I'll back with Hustle the Lock Shop. 2 guys and a goalie today as well. Into EST Afternoons with Gager and Maddie in for Hernan. And then obviously the Reed Wilkins Show from 3 until 6. Turn on autoplay on YouTube. That'll take you right on over to the hangout. The boys will get that fired up right away. I'll talk to you in a couple hours. Thank you very much for joining us. Tell your friends about EST. Take it easy.